Welcome everyone to the ultimate guide to Clash. We're going to go over draft, mindset, communication, and what it actually takes to win Clash. Nathan, let's get into it.
How is Clash different from SoloQ? I'm going to start off this discussion with a statement, and I quote, outside of draft, it is not different from SoloQ at all.
Okay. Bold statement.
Bold statement.
End quote.
I think me and Curtis both disagree with you immediately. I think, okay, so doesn't it feel different when you're playing? Just like forgetting what it actually looks like on the screen from a spectator. Because I can understand from a spectator's perspective, yeah, you're still playing the same roles. The champions aren't too different. You're still there's still some scrappiness for sure.
Still the same fundamentals.
Yeah, it's not like just because it's Clash, everyone becomes a macro god. But there are certain things that are different, in my opinion. Like people generally take less risks in how they play. There's generally much more coordination around objectives that occurs. And I think there's just a lot more cohesion in terms of like win condition assessment. You don't see things like junglers randomly ganking all three lanes. Generally, there's a bit more of a game plan. Is that not the case? Or is that what you do in SoloQ?
So this is what us junglers need to tell ourselves. This is very specific jungle advice as the resident jungler on this podcast. Very important mindset to have because you will ruin your own game and you will lose your mind trying to compensate for the 4 teammates yapping in your ear throughout the game. Now, I can definitely see everything from your side, what you just said there about, yes, the game's going to feel a bit different. It might feel a bit slower. There might be more team fights and not stupid man advantage picks that you see in SoloQ, but this is an important mindset that I'm going to be framing, from my opinion, this entire episode about the ultimate guide to Clash.
Okay, so you're not really talking about the objective reality of how the SoloQ game and Clash are the same. It's more so the mindset you adopt while playing the game, a match of Clash, comparatively to SoloQ, is very, very similar, right?
Absolutely.
Specifically as a jungler, right? As a jungler, you're thinking about who's my strong side, who's my weak side, right?
Getting myself strong, getting my camp,
hitting your
in the early
camps,
games.
that sort of thing. So what you're afraid of by, I guess what you're trying to start this episode with is you don't want people to overcook. You don't want people to kind of, entering into Clash, reinventing themselves in the way they approach the game just because they're loading into Clash.
And this is not just for jungle as well. Like people like compensating for each other. People like, all right, let's fight this and just bomb him mechanically. Like just the worst mechanical execution ever. Remember, League of Legends is a fighting game at the end of the day. You could be the smartest, craziest macro team, perfect synergy draft, but you still can, these things are still important. We have a very famous quote on this podcast saying that a pickup team of 5 challenger SoloQ players will beat a master tier perfect synergy. They practice scrimmed for months and months. 5 masters with 5 challengers SoloQ, that would beat them 9 out of 10 times.
Sure. Yeah, no, I definitely think there's some good stuff there. I want to kind of I definitely think we need to come back through this message throughout this episode about like the mindset, that you need to adopt during Clash. But I do think it's important to recognize that there are major differences tangibly with the way the games are going to play out, right? So I think echoing what Charlie was mentioning before, right? One massive thing, right? The obvious one is neutral objectives. In SoloQ, you will go through massive periods in time where either neutral objectives either aren't taken or the way they're contested makes no sense because your team is not, people are trying to call for dragon when their laners need to reset or no one's on power spikes or whatever the hell it is. So inherently, there is this sense of chaos in a SoloQ game, and that changes the flow of the game, the feel of the game, in a way you're having to adapt to a lot of bullshit in SoloQ. Whereas Clash, I think, is more along the lines of like, okay, everyone's aware that there's a dragon up. We can collectively make a decision about whether or not we want to fight that. And that leads to more structured contesting of vision, more structured team fights, less random picks, more win con assessment.
Well, I think the biggest reason why that manifests in Clash is because there's a high likelihood that at least one person on the team of 5 is going to just say something. Yeah. And inadequacies of other players is going to be completely masked by that, right? There's going to be one person on that team of 5 who says, hey guys, dragons in a minute. So little Timmy, who never does that in SoloQ, is going to be like, oh my God, there is a dragon in a minute. What the hell am I going to do about it? Maybe they even say, go push top. Or maybe they even say, I've got TP. There's just so much more information on the board. And that's why things are slower, because there is more information on the board. And it's also why like the gameplay fundamentally looks different, right? Like take Laner, for example. If I'm playing with a jungler who I can talk to, I'm more likely to do things like set up wave crashes for dives. I would very rarely would you do that in SoloQ, plan too far ahead. I would do my thing, and then it's up to my jungler to capitalize on it. But in Clash, you can actually communicate. You can even get the mid laner involved and say, hey, I'm stacking a wave top. Do you want to move up? And the mid laner can just do a thing like single crash a wave and move. In SoloQ, how often are you going to do that? It's very, very rare.
It's interesting because our philosophy in SoloQ, is very much a game of numbers and percentages, right? This play is going to work, let's say, 7 times out of 10 or 8 times out of 10. And that's going to reward you over a large sample size of games. What's interesting in Clash of competitive play is that it actually becomes less about the percentages and more about what's objectively correct.
Yeah, is it a good play or not?
Right, exactly right. So let's say there's a play in SoloQ where it's like, okay, we need to, there could be this dive play topside. And as a mid laner, I'm thinking, you know what, I could go for it, but you know what? It really assumes that this guy knows what I want to do. He could fuck up the wave. Like, there's so much risk. You know what? I'm just not going to say no to that. I'm just going to get my clean reset. And that won't get you results. But in Clash or in competitive, you kind of can take that play because it's much easier to coordinate. You can get aligned. You can communicate. So it's not even about the numbers. It's just whether or not that is the right play or wrong play. You see what I mean?
Yeah, definitely. I think also it just can't be like overstated. You trust your teammates more in Clash. Like you have to go into Clash assuming your teammates are going to behave in a competent manner. But in SoloQ, a lot of the way we teach the game is like, yeah, you do your job and you're pure adapting to what your teammates do. And we don't really suggest playing in such a way that requires a high execution threshold of your teammates. But in Clash, you can make different plays. Like I might go for top dives with Nathan that require a bit of execution behind them because like, if you don't seize those opportunities, you're not going to be presented with obvious blunders or massive fuck-ups.
So this is a good segue into what skills are emphasized in Clash compared to SoloQ. We massively emphasize adaption in SoloQ and climb the ladder and play in high percentage. So we're saying that adaption is now lower on the skill totem, and then there's new skills that are popping up, or we need to emphasize more skills, maybe communication, maybe thinking about more so what the perfect optimal play is rather than high percentages.
I think something I wrote down here is the best teammate is the best player, right? The best thing you can do for your teammates if you rock up to Clash is just be fucking good. Win your lane, create opportunities for your team, and just be very competent as an individual. I would rather that, and they barely talk, than someone who yaps a lot.
So that's SoloQ skills you're talking about there.
It is SoloQ skills, yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of transferable skills in SoloQ. I think if you come in and you're really competent on your champion and you know your matchups and you can be both self-sufficient but also create opportunities for your team to capitalize on, that's what I want for a teammate in Clash.
So we're going to have a whole segment about communication.
Yeah.
And it's really interesting that you say there that you would rather have a really good mid laner, ADC or whatever that's muted and just playing, just dominating their lane.
It's also role specific, I would say.
Yeah.
I think like an AD carrier or a top laner needs less comms than like a support or a jungler for sure. Top lane still needs to communicate though. But yeah, we'll get into that in the communication section. But I just want to emphasize, the best thing you can do for your team, if you have to tick one box out of all the boxes, just be good at your individual stuff. That needs to come before everything else.
I think one of the skills to be successful in Clash is that you can't be a pushover. Okay? Because I think if in Clash, a lot of people are yapping and saying what they want, right? And you don't really get that to the same degree in SoloQ, do you? In SoloQ, a lot of them, you don't even know what other people want, right? You're kind of having to read between the lines of like, that guy's going in, maybe he wants that. So I guess you still don't want to be a pushover in SoloQ, but I think that impacts your behavior a little bit more in Clash, right? Because you got your top laner saying, look, I want to go for this tower, but then your bot laner says this, and then your jungler says this. If you're just a pushover, you're going to be saying yes to everything and anything, and then before you know it, you've just got no farm, you're behind in tempo, you've said yes to 1,000 plays, and you're just in a shit spot, right?
And you're playing so far away from how you would play in SoloQ. A lot of Clash players will say to themselves, God, if I knew, I actually wouldn't do this typically in a SoloQ game, and like I would be so far, then getting really tilted about that.
Okay, so this is interesting. I do think, and again, I want to go deeper into this in the communication section, but certain personalities do thrive in differing environments, right? There are strong personalities who can be like, this is what I want. And they speak very confidently. They sound incredibly confident and they kind of command in a way someone to listen. Whereas other people, they might be more timid. They may be not overly confident in vocalizing what they want to say.
Or they might be the lowest ELO player on the team, right?
Right. And I think that creates a lot of odd dynamics and can create a lot of, it can make certain people overperform and other people underperform.
Some people might actually thrive more so. And
Exactly
again, maybe
right.
it's role specific. Maybe supports and junglers. They can tell their team, hey, I'm hitting camps. Please don't heavy trade on this. And then maybe the game's going to look a lot different.
So it's really interesting. So for me, there's two players that come to my mind. This is going to be wild. So there used to be a player in our competitive scene in OS named Juves. And now this guy was not the greatest SoloQ player, and he was a long-term league player. But he would tend to surprise a lot of people with the way he performed in a competitive scene.
Yes.
And that really broke down a lot of narratives for us. Like we would be that team that is all about SoloQ.
Mechanics.
Being the best individual player.
Being the best
in each
individual
role.
player, right?
Yeah.
But when you would watch this player play in a competitive sense, he would kind of turn into a bit of a different player. Like, wow, this guy's not only playing better mechanically, he's overperforming in a way. That's the way we would view him. And he would frequently punch above his weight. And he would play with players that are way better than him as an individual, you would think, based off SoloQ performance, but he wouldn't look outclassed. He wouldn't look like he didn't belong on that team. But then you would look at other players. We've played recently, clashed with people where they're underperforming. They're amazing in SoloQ. They get into clash and like, wait, you're playing nothing like the way
player.
you're a different player.
Yeah.
You're half the player that you are comparatively when you play SoloQ. So it's so interesting. You've got two different personality types. Maybe one's a little bit more dominant, a little bit more vocal, a little bit more like brazen in their approach. Another one is a little bit more withdrawn, a little bit more kind of compensate, a pushover in that sense. And you do see these different personalities shine in different environments.
I think the biggest thing there is just the willingness to int in front of your friends. I think that's a big one. Just willingness to let down your friends and take risks. Like Juves, for example, put everything on the line every match. He's like, fuck it. I'm going to go for this EQ. I'm going to go for this Gragas E-Flash. And if I look like a baboon, screw it. I'm just going to go out there and try. And that confidence showed in his level of play. And yet, like you said, he was able to play really well. And if you're the kind of person who rocks up and he's like, fuck, I'm like quite nervous. I don't want to be the guy to ruin this game for my friends. Let me just fly under the radar, just like chill. I won't ruin the game, but I'm also not going to contribute very much. I would say that is one of the worst approaches you could come into Clash with. Even if you're the lowest ranked player, I would rather you show what you've got. Play to your level. Don't hide.
Love it.
Yeah, totally.
I think other skills that are important is using your lull states and just role assessment and thinking big picture about what's the right role in the fights. Because like we said at the beginning, one difference between Clash and SoloQ might be slower games, not as many kills, more team fights rather than man advantage kills. So this is where, not... and it shouldn't just be one person telling everyone what everyone's role is. Like, at the end of the day, you as top lane Renekton or whatever, your job isn't to be telling how the AD carry should be playing in the fight or the support playing in the fight. So every individual person needs to be constantly thinking throughout the game, playing with high intensity, thinking about what is my role in these fights? What is my role in this game? What is big picture the win condition?
I think that is the skill that Clash in a way develops. We're talking a lot about the skills that SoloQ can equip you to perform in Clash, but I think the opposite is also true, where Clash can develop skills that maybe you wouldn't emphasize as much, right, for your SoloQ. And I do think as in Clash and in competitive, you do need to be thinking more critically in your LoL sense about like, what is my job this game? How do I win this game? Because you're going to have sometimes very limited options in terms of your 1v1. And that's because the drafts play out in a particular way, right? Someone in draft said, look, mate, you're on Ornn duty this game. You got to play Ornn or you got to play Braum or whatever. You got to play a tank jungler. For the comp, right? You're limited in terms of maybe what you can do as an individual. So you need to have that additional mental stack that you have has to be put towards something, which is usually the win condition. What is my role? What is the next neutral? What do I need to do in fights? And I think that is a really helpful skill for SoloQ as well. We all play SoloQ like that, thinking about the win condition. How do I kill the Nexus? It's just that you have more options in SoloQ typically than I would say than in Clash.
Yeah, you would also hope that the win condition in Clash, like you've had a chat about it in draft, the draft maybe makes a bit more sense. Obviously, there's still going to be that adaptation. Like, it's not like the Clash games or the competitive games are completely devoid of adaptation. It still might be the case that you load in, you have one thing that you want to play towards, and then shit hits the fan, you have to pivot immediately. That still happens too.
Totally.
Yeah.
There's something that came to my mind, right? When it's interesting because I think when people load into Clash, the general consensus is that people are drafting compositions typically with a pretty clear identity, or at least they try to. And we typically tend to see a little bit more emphasis on like frontline, maybe a little bit more emphasis on team fighting. There's a lot more, I guess, clear synergies between champions, right? But when you look at current modern day League of Legends, I would actually say in pro play, that's not the case. Like, people are going to be watching MSI. MSI was on recently, right? Yeah, their comps do have somewhat clear identities, but at the same time, they're a lot more loose and they're a lot more flexible and they have a lot of options, right? We're past the days in a way, right? In competitive play where like you just draft this death ball composition and you have this one win condition and that's the way you play.
Like, it's just like team fights. We're just going to win the team fight to win the game, but there's other ways to win the game.
But my point
Split
being,
push in, you've got just dominate, just roll over lanes, have three winning lanes.
I used to pick Sejuani Braum 1-2.
Yeah.
Classic draft.
There
They
you
just
go.
wouldn't fly anymore.
okay, the point that I'm trying to make though
It's just terrible now,
is that
isn't
I
it?
actually think in a way, drafting old school, like that old school approach to competitive actually does pay dividends in Clash because of the lack of, you know what I mean? Because of the lack of coordination.
Well, it's certainly way better than in SoloQ. That's for sure. That's for sure.
Exactly
yes.
right.
Yeah.
So some picks are just going to be going to be more effective in a Clash environment than
exactly right.
than SoloQ.
Yeah. So Nathan, you got here. What can my Clash performance tell me about my level of play?
Yeah, so this one here is an interesting one because I feel as though, at least for me, from our last Clash experience, I think it told me a lot about how for me, it told me a bit about how I wasn't thinking critically enough about the draft and probably underemphasizing draft. But I think all of us walked away from our previous Clash experience learning a little bit more about, I needed to change something about whether it was my mindset moving into Clash, whether it was my champion choice moving into Clash, whether even my in-game choices. And I do think, yes, Clash is kind of that final event where you're trying to win, right? You've done your preparation, whatever you're trying to execute. But I do think Clash tells you a lot about what your inadequacies as a player actually are. Are you too passive? Were you just getting rolled over in lane? Did you just lack champion mastery? You couldn't actually think about the next neutral objective because your mental stack was overwhelmed? Were you very reactive? You had actually no idea what your role was in team fights. So like, I think as, Clash weekend, everyone's getting on Clash, I want people to think critically after this weekend about, okay, well, what does this Clash performance tell me about what I need to improve on as a solo queue player, as an individual player?
Yeah, maybe your teammates were just feeding you a lot of information, or they were calling barons and dragons that you never would have called in a billion years, and they were like talking about matchups and stuff.
And the game might just feel different, or you can carry harder. I think about like an 80 carry or whatever. And then it's like, okay, well, if your Clash games are looking so much more different, you're just having such an easy time, you're just absolutely carrying, then maybe you need to take more of that, information, role in your solo queue games.
Yeah,
because
that's
maybe
ones.
you're mechanical, maybe you're actually really good mechanically and stuff. You just don't have zero map awareness.
Yeah, definitely. It can definitely expose your lack of information gathering.
I do think that, the Clash telling you about your level of play, I do think champ mastery is a big part of it. I mean, we already say that champ mastery is like, the top fundamental for learning League and climbing in League, but because you have such limited options and theoretically everyone else is playing more so to their champ identity, but also your teammates are understanding each other's champ identity and what they want and comment like, these are my spikes and this is what I'm strong or whatever, then if you don't really have a good grasp on your champion, maybe you have a good idea of what the champion identity is, maybe like a mid to late game fight, but you don't really know its early game reference points like lane phase and stuff. And then you're sort of just getting, like let's say you lock in, a tank or whatever, and you're like, yes, Best's really good for the draft, but you just get absolutely dumpstered in lane, never get tanky, and then you just sort of just ruin the game for your team.
Yeah, I'm on the fence about this because I do think a part of me feels like Clash can cover for weaknesses, because if you're drafting for comp, right? If your comp is just very good, and you know, and your team is telling you kind of what your job is for the most part, or you have somewhat of an idea what your job is, that can mask a lot of weaknesses.
So you think
right?
your champ mastery is not that important?
No. I'm not saying it's not important. I'm saying that is one side of the
it.
story. That is one side of the story, right? There is an element of being covered up. But I would just say anecdotally for me, when I play Clash, it's so painfully, obviously, immediately how much of a more difference I can make when I'm playing my X Factor champions, the champions that I'm really, really, really confident on. But I would frame this in the context of winning Clash versus like winning one game. You see what I mean? So I think if you're going to win Clash, you're going to win the whole goddamn thing. It's not good enough to just only play champions for composition, because to win, you're going to be versing other players who probably also know how to draft quite effectively. You can't just draft gap anymore because you're going to get multiple different types of Clash teams in your bracket, okay? You're going to get some Clash teams that are preparing, they're well thought out, they've played together before, they know how to draft, they know how their team comps work with each other, yada, yada, yada. You're going to get other team composition, other Clash teams.
It's like a ragtag
team. They don't even know what each other's pools are, like us in our previous Clash. They dick around, they get exposed, and they might win through mechanical play, but it's a little, they're not going to have a lot of synergy.
Yeah.
So my point being is that when you're trying to win Clash, you need to be able to perform in both environments. You need to be able to beat the people that are playing maybe their best champs, mechanically really good, and you need to be able to play versus the teams that know how to draft and actually have team synergy. So it actually tests a wide variety of skills. You see what I mean? So my point being, in the games where you're versing other players that are playing their champs with a lot of champ mastery, you'll get exposed very quickly.
You gotta have the best comp ever, but you're just getting rolled over.
You just get rolled over.
Every fight, they're just playing better. It's like the draft's not even matter. The fights, the wombo combo just doesn't matter. You're just getting outplayed. That happens in our SoloQ games. How many times have you looked at your SoloQ games and, wow, we outscale our draft so good, but you're just
obliterated.
You feel like they're outscaling. You're just losing every fight.
Exactly right.
So that can be a very common Clash experience as well. So how to use SoloQ to prepare for Clash. We've been preparing for Clash this weekend, and I think the most obvious one is practicing champs that you might not get. Maybe you're an OTP or one champion, or in your OPGG, your match history, it's very obvious what champs you're good at. So I think practicing.
Well, you've been doing this, right?
Yeah, I've been doing this.
Yeah.
So I know I'm not going to get Rek'Sai. It's going to be banned because, Nathan Mott, people know my Rek'Sai and stuff. So I'm practicing Vi that I actually haven't played for a couple of years, but I'm, brushing up on that. And I'm indexing a little bit more into Skana. Champs that, these are not champs I'm just randomly bringing in for Clash. The champs that I'm dusting off my shelf and then just only playing those. So I'm sort of not playing Rek'Sai at all this week.
So I think there's the champ pool aspect, but I also think it extends to, and the way we've gone about it, and we'll go this a little bit later on, but now that they're the champs you're going to play, I need to think about it, well, if my jungler is not going to get their Rek'Sai, then you're going to be these other champs. Okay, then maybe I need to start thinking about, or Charlie needs to start thinking critically about what champs that I need to play that are going to fit with Nathan's champ pool.
Yep.
Right? So this is where you really need to think critically about, realistically, what champions are going to be played in your Clash. Don't just rely on, I've been playing a lot of this in SoloQ, let's make it work. Get specific, right? Does it actually make sense for your Clash team that you're going to get that? I would say another one as well is, I would say understand what your most comfortable picks are. Be able to clearly, when the draft comes up and you have the option, what are your X Factor picks? What are the picks that, I really want to play this? And I think all of us have champs. So if we have the choice, there's maybe one or two that we really want to prioritize. And I think having those two, making them very clear in the back of your mind is going to be very important.
Definitely. So, teammates.
Yeah, assembling the super team, the Avengers. So do we want to start with, finding, so sometimes it's hard to get a Clash team together, Sometimes, you might have some mates, maybe some people are, busy on the weekend or whatever it is. You're going to have to go and maybe on some Discords or whatever, find some people, hit up someone you played with in SoloQ a few weeks ago on your friends list or whatever.
Yeah, we've got the community Discord. We have our 5 role academies that we teach League, where it's separated by role. We've got top lane academy, mid lane academy, bot lane academy, and jungle academy. But we also have the community server where people can join. If you're already in an academy, take a look. You can join a channel there, ask around, get a Clash team together, queue it up. But yeah, a lot of people struggle. You can even queue up. I've actually played Clash before where there's literally a function on the client where you can just search.
Oh, really?
And pick up people.
Oh, cool.
Pick up people. So you have a team of 4 and you just get some guy, chuck him in.
Yeah.
Crazy.
But yeah, so but the most important thing, right, when you're playing Clash, it's not necessarily about assembling like the best roster. Like, obviously, the guy's a tank player and I'm a carry jungler, so we're going to work really well together. It's more like, what expectations do we have of this weekend? Is someone going to come in and play while they're eating their dinner and drinking beer, and the other guy is like fully fucking set up, ready to play the game and play with full intensity? Because that's a nightmare scenario.
Alignment of goals.
Yeah.
Right. At the end of the day, I think we've all been there before, where you have a certain approach to the game and someone else is not focused. They don't care as much as you do. And you have this misalignment of what you want to get out of that experience. And that's one of the worst possible outcomes.
It might be one person's like really trying to like draft for the team comp, want to play, you know, really 5 team dynamic. And then this other guy's like, okay, I'd rather just play a bit more like SoloQ and just play my good champs. I don't care if it's good for the draft at all.
It's also about like having those discussions. Yes. Right? So it's fine to come in with the mindset of like, I'm a Katarina Fizz player. I'm going to play Katarina Fizz if they're open. But if you don't tell your team beforehand, or your team are having these discussions about playing with a control mage or something, and then you randomly save it on the day, then that's where it can get annoying.
Yeah, and I think this is really important. I wrote here, like, just with vibes.
Yeah.
Like, I think as like, you know, odd as it sounds, like vibes goes a long ways. You've just got an icky vibe loading into the game, whether it be, you know, people are like salty about the draft, or salty about the people's champion pools, or salty about like, oh my God, you know, this guy's not trying, or whatever, or he's late, or whatever the fuck it is. It just ruins the experience. And I find that, like, as long as there's good vibes flowing, you're aligned, you're communicating, you're having a bit of fun either way, or you are all taking it seriously, that's going to lead to a lot of success. Right. And it's also going to make, because remember, it's not just one game. You're playing multiple.
Yeah.
You're stuck with this person for a few hours. Right. So you got to strap in.
Yeah. I mean, I've made my teammates play worse before. For sure.
Yeah, I think we all have.
In a Clash environment, I've been the guy just fucking getting a little bit peeved in the middle of the match, or even at the start of that, just coming in with a bad mood, you know, overly emphasizing like perfection and just.
Well, I think actually, I'm glad you mentioned that, Charles. Like, I think we haven't mentioned here, but the preparation, like I'm talking like the half an hour leading into Clash is actually very crucial.
Yeah.
You don't want to just jump onto the PC. You haven't played League all day. And you boot up the PC, Clash is starting in 10 minutes. All right, what are we doing, guys? And then and it's like that, you're just not in the right.
What happens if you duo queue an hour before, a game before, and you just like bomb in, or one guy just ruins the game? Is that you're going into bad vibes?
No, that happened. Okay, so last time we played, me and I was at Moose, was the support coach we played support with, right? Me and Moose played Caitlyn Lux spot lane, and we went like 1-20, and then we had to play Clash. It was ranked 5. We actually played an hour later.
Not good.
It was terrible. It was really
Did you
bad.
play before? Should you not be going fresh? Just jump on, play a different game?
I think you definitely having a warm-up game or two, or a 3-block, or at least just a game or two at some point in that day, I think is quite important.
I reckon solo queue, just playing yourself, is more important than duo queuing. Because I think that would, you're warming up in your champions.
Yes,
We've already established that, you know, Charlie likes someone who's just going to still help themselves first.
But I also think you want to give yourself enough time to cool down in case you have a shit game, right? Because you don't want to have a shocking solo queue game and like, fuck me, and you're dwelling on it and then you're loading into Clash. But yeah, I think as well, like, you really want to get your shit sorted before you get into draft. Don't scramble around like, what are we going to do for drafts as you're queuing up? Like, figure it out well in advance. I do think that goes a long way.
Yeah, so maybe spend the first, instead of playing a game just before duo queue or something like that, I think it's more
drafts.
Talk about draft. Just sit in there, you know, do some drafting.
Right. So here, toxicity and disagreements to varying degrees are inevitably going to happen.
It's
You're in a
not
competitive
sunshine rainbows. People want to win League of Legends games.
Yeah, people want to win their way as well. It's hard. It's really tough.
Yeah.
Me and Nathan famously have many disagreements every single time we play together. Nathan has this is what happens, right? So some people have a very rigid view of the game, and there are certain like idiosyncrasies of the player. Like Nathan, for example, pops fully towards bot lane pretty much every single game. So if I'm rocking up to Clash, I'm playing top lane this Clash, which we'll get into. So I have to come to terms with that. And we have to like just get aligned on what that means and really have conversations. You can't just not say anything and then it'll be all okay. It has to actually be brought to the forefront.
Well, this is where understanding how to have an effective communication, an effective disagreement in between the games is very important. Okay. So like, I do want to talk a little bit about the process in between games. Is it, Charles, all right for me to go on this tangent here? Or are we gonna?
Yeah, definitely. Definitely. What we'll do at the end of this whole video, there'll be a full review that we'll actually do, and we'll talk about what that looks like. But yeah, we can definitely talk about it now.
So what a lot of people get wrong in between games is they try to solve those exact problems. Okay, so there's this unique puzzle where Nathan's ganking top for Charlie, and it's this very, very unique scenario where just a few abilities went wrong, and then you could easily get stuck up in this minutia and review like exactly you should have used your abilities that way. You should have waited for me here. Blah 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 blah. But the reality is that scenario is never going to happen again. Now that doesn't mean it's not useless to review, but the way you review it matters. You need to be asking questions such as, okay, how could I have communicated clearer here? How could we have got aligned on this play?
Was this play easy to do? Like, was it a good play in the first place? That kind of thing. Or next time you gank top, maybe we can talk about who's going to lead the dive or something like that. That would be like
something that where the learnings are going to at least potentially lead to behavior change in the next game.
Yep.
Okay, so don't get stuck up in the minutia. So this is where you want to talk about things like communication. You want to talk about like, okay, what's our mindset? What should our mindset in these scenarios be? Or if you want to do something, like, you know, just ping it. Or
also next time you dive, you want to gank top, I will ping which minion we're going to go on. That's a very practical and actionable thing we can do for next time.
As you like to say, Charles, you know, don't go into like hell talking about a one play for 5-10 minutes and arguing. Just move on.
Yes.
You know?
It's hard, easier said than done though. We have this mindset because we've coached not only SoloQ but competitive for years, and it's actually very much in like first nature to a player to want to go down that rabbit hole for some reason and just like get into the weeds and like really talk about hypotheticals and this, that, and the other. And we just know through experience it's very useful on game day, but even in post-game reviews, it rarely gets anywhere functional.
Well, because it's not really going to change behavior that much better, because there's going to be new scenario in the next one.
Something that I think is helpful though is trying to find like what felt good. Like, what do we like about this game? Like, what are things that we know high level? Like, I really liked when you the way you communicated this. I really liked our draft. I liked the way it felt. I loved having tools. I felt like we had a lot of options this game. Like, I think if you can explicitly say what you wanted to replicate, whether it's from a draft, whether it's from like communication perspective, goes a long way as well. Or if there's something high level, I don't like playing this. I didn't really feel comfortable in this draft because I felt like we had no engage. So then that's something you can change, right? It's like, okay, we need to have more tools in our next game or whatever the hell it might be.
Yeah. I think as well, just big picture things you notice about your teammates brought up in a healthy way. Like, you are compensating too much. I've noticed that in this game, you're not playing like yourself. You're running around the map like a loon, trying to help every lane, when in SoloQ, you would have just cleared your camps, you know? Or in SoloQ, I would see you roaming mid more, but in this game, you're just fucking sitting in lane.
Yeah, it's like trying to get to the root cause rather than trying to say, this play, you know, you shouldn't have compensated or whatever.
Yeah, don't get you don't get caught up in the details. As weird as that sounds, you actually want to just draw big trends, because we're looking to make very like big changes for just now, for next game. We're not going to fix the moments, but we can fix the mindsets.
Yeah, it's interesting. It's like in SoloQ, we are very much about the details, right? We're on the minutia. In this, I feel it is like the metaphor being like, we're trying to steer the ship. You got like the Titanic, and we're just trying to steer it slightly left or right. Whereas, you know, in SoloQ, we're on like a fucking jet ski. We're doing donuts. Like we're really going nuts, right? So it's very, very, very different in that sense.
So revisiting the good vibes thing, and this is going to be another Nathan Mott bold statement. You know, in terms of toxicity disagreements, the best player on the team has unbelievable responsibility for the good vibes and the toxicity.
That's true.
Yeah, that is
okay.
Really true,
So if you're sitting there playing Clash and you're the best player on the team, you lose Clash and it's bad vibes, it's your fault. Because if the best player is always still talking, everyone knows that maybe they can carry pop off, that's going to increase the morale of the team.
That's true.
If the worst player on the team is trying to keep good vibes and the best player is muted, the vibes are gone. That's impossible.
Well, that's leadership.
It's not so much that we're saying that you're the worst player on the team, you don't have a voice or whatever, but the best player, it just goes a much longer way than the lowest ranked player on the team.
I think it changes game to game as well. If you're the one in the position to make things happen in the game, you need to take charge and call stuff, right?
Yep.
It's
and
like
keep the vibes like going,
Yeah.
like keep talking. Don't just shut off, because even people that do get fed in the game, let's say they had some disagreement or whatever the last game, or they just think their team sucks or whatever, they go quiet. That's going to affect the rest of the team.
Totally.
I would actually say this might be toxic, but I think the inverse is true as well. I think if you're bottom fragging and you're having a blinder, like shut up.
Yeah.
Because
Just
obviously
accept you've had
still
played
do your
shit.
job and
Yeah.
communicate the bare minimum, but don't try and rally the troops and say, guys, it's okay, we can win. It's like, no, you are the reason we're here. Just please be quiet.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah,
And that might
true.
be toxic,
Like,
but I think that's true.
know when to shut up or
I don't
whatever.
want to hear my like 0-5 bot laner telling me we can win. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I see what you mean.
Yeah,
no,
that can
true.
be viewed as toxic for sure. But
Yeah.
it's real. This is reality.
I think it's
of
real.
Clash.
No, I do agree though. I do think the person who is the best on the team, but it's hard. It's easier said than done. If you're the
extremely
best person on the
hard,
team,
yeah.
you're having a pop off game,
Yeah.
and you're really upset with how other people are playing. It's really hard to do. But that's how you go above and beyond. That is actually how you make a difference. And we saw this in our pro teams, right? When we were in pro coaches. We would see frequently the best player, the moment they shut down.
Yeah.
Everyone would go quiet. Everyone would think, "Oh my god,
What are they thinking of
What are they
me?
thinking?
They're never going to play Clash with me again.
no." We saw that all the time.
I'll link a video that you guys made a while ago about comms in pro play. You used a bunch of examples from Direwolves highlighting Schoenfire and kind of his leadership in the game and comms. So that's a good watch if anyone's interested in really detailed communication.
Love it.
So let's now talk about, this sort of goes hand in hand with potential toxicity and disagreement stuff that can happen, or people playing bad. Off-roll versus on-roll. A big part of assembling your team, especially with your friends, not everyone is going to get their main role. That's the reality. For this clash we're playing here, Coach Lucas, our mid lane coach, he's going to be playing off-roll in support, because Gota's going to be playing mid and Charlie's going to be playing top lane. But, everyone says on the podcast, Charles is a jack of all trades, master of none.
I'm rollless.
Yeah, so maybe he's just the faceless man, right, from Game of Thrones. So maybe we only have one off-roll player on our team.
No, I'm always off roll.
But I would also loop in this people who obviously don't have the best pool for Clash. You might have an OTV.
Yeah.
A two-trick.
Yeah,
and you
play
know,
off-roll.
Yeah, and so that guy is essentially going to be off-roll in a weird way,
Even
right?
if they're on roll.
Even if
Yeah.
they're on roll, because they're just not going to be able to get their champion. So I think this ties into managing expectations massively, right? If you know that you've got a bot lane, I don't know, barred OTP support, and that bar's going to get banned, well, strap in. That guy's probably going to have a tough time. So
Yep.
you need to manage your expectations. Bot lane's going to be probably a little bit rough. It's going to be a little bit chaotic. Don't be surprised if they're losing priority or they're getting a little bit behind. Welcome to that's the team
Yeah, so
environment.
adjust
that
your
you're in.
expectations.
Adjust
accordingly.
expectations.
And that's
Exactly
fine. It
right.
doesn't mean you can't not. It doesn't mean you're going to lose.
No.
It just means maybe you have to win in a simpler way, or you have to just assume less is going to happen mechanically from that person.
Yep, spot on. I do think your mindset, I do want to talk about this, right? A lot of people come into Clash with the event that this is the big event, right? This is it. And in a way, it kind of is, right? It is the big event, right? But how do you guys think about Clash? What do you think the healthiest mindset and approach should be moving into a Clash weekend?
I'm going to just play at my level and just try and have fun. I'm just going to accept my level play. I'm going to do pretty much what I do in SoloQ. I'm going to enjoy the team aspect of it, maybe the draft, or maybe I'm going to learn some things about draft and learn what it looks like to play against a coordinated team. I think still approaching it with a very childlike mindset of just I'm here to learn and just have a crack and not get really nervous. Obviously some people don't get nervous, people just are. It's just the reality. But just know that you've played the game so many times and just always just picture of it as okay, if all else fails, I'm just going to go back to thinking the game's just a SoloQ game. I think it's a really healthy mindset if the game doesn't go into the expectations of the team player, because I think what people going to the big event, they think it's the big event, team coordination, amazing combat, amazing team fights, but then you just get punched in the face and the game actually starts to evolve into a SoloQ game. And then people can, tune out, check out and think that this is a bad experience.
Yeah, my mindset is kind of I just want to be like a rock for the team. I want to play in such a way that doesn't demand anything of my teammates in a way. Just I am on an island myself. Maybe this is a top lane thing as well, but I just want to be able to perform on my own and just be very just contribute. I don't want to hard carry. I don't want to be carried. I just want to do my job. I think the idea of rocking up on a job site, just wanting to complete your job, high vis on, just get the job done, clock off, have a couple of babies after, you're done, you know?
Thanks, Nolsey.
That's my mindset.
Yeah, no, totally. I love that. I think that's a great mindset. I think both those mindsets are awesome. I would say, like, I do kind of like the idea, though, of making it a novel big event. As it may reduce performance, it's fun.
Okay.
Because I do think in SoloQ, especially with our podcast, we talk a lot about like the grind and the long term and I do think it's really cool. This is a big motivating factor for a lot of people, right? They work towards wanting to win Clash. And I think owning it, all right, cool. This is going to be fun. This is a bit of a big event. The pressure's on. Like, I do think not downplaying that. Like, if you downplay that, I think for some people that's going to take away from the novelty factor and the fun element of Clash. Like, it's fine to be a little bit nervous. Maybe other people are going to be a bit nervous. That's okay. But I as long as you've got managed expectations, and I would say just the big expectations that need to be managed is, number one, just because we have this team comp doesn't mean it's going to pan out the way it is. Number two, just because I've done all my preparation and I'm playing my champion doesn't mean shit's not going to hit the fan. Right. And even though on paper it's like, okay, these players that you're versing might be super high elo or super low elo, don't jump to conclusions about how you think the game is going to play out. Treat every single person or team that you go into equally. It's just an opportunity for you to express your best self wherever the hell it is. Don't expect that they're going to be amazing. Don't expect that they're going to demolish you, whatever, or underperform. Just be, all right, let's play our game, whatever that looks like. Because I think a lot of people get in their heads, oh my God, we scouted them. This guy's a high-low. He's an OGB. Oh my God. And it's very easy to kind of make the game about them rather than about you and your team and what our win conditions are.
What about having expectations for the off-role players on your team?
Should
you have low expectations for them? Should you think...
Yeah, I think so. I honestly think that's healthier. Because I think I would rather go to the extreme. Like, if I think, oh, you know what, my bot lane, he's a Bardo TP, he just got banned out. If I think he's going to lose lane, I think that's reasonably healthy, right? And then if he goes even or wins, it's like a bonus. I don't think there's any downside to that.
So you should have the expectation if they're playing, let's say they're Emerald 4 and they're playing against like a Diamond 4, you know, top lane. You're
so like let's just get
managing
real.
expectations.
Let's use a specific example, right? Let's just keep it really, really practical. Charlie is the top laner. He queues up into, like, let's say a rank 10, like Chinese Riven OTP. Or sorry, he plays, this is like a Riven, whatever. And for some reason, Riven gets through the draft or whatever. And like Charlie's got Renekton banned and has to play like Camille into Riven. It's like, well, I'd be delusional to think that that's not going to turn into a shit show.
Yeah.
Right. So it would actually make me more tilted if I had a more like, oh, he's going to be okay. No, he's going to get obliterated. Right. But if I know that, like, if I'm managing my expectations in that way, I'm not going to be caught off guard when shit hits the fan in game. You know what I mean? Like, I think you want to be a little bit extremist in your views, at least for me personally, because it gives you a buffer in game mentally.
I would have an expectation that person, me in this case, wouldn't bomb the game. I think that's a fair expectation. I think you should expect that of yourself. If you're coming into Clash and you're an off-role player, because you remember everything we were talking about earlier, how it's like, I'm going to play at my level and I'm going to come and just express my best self. I think part of that goes out the window if you're the off-role player.
Yeah, true.
You actually should play to not ruin the game to some extent.
Yeah.
Not like so much so that you're just like doing nothing, but I would rather they do less than try and do more. You know what I mean? So if I'm off-role and let's say my best champ, Renekton, gets banned and I have to verse someone who plays a really good matchup into my second best champion, then I am going to have to try and not ruin that game. I'm not going to try anything. You know what I mean? And I think that is healthier because you don't want to ruin the fun for everyone else.
Agreed.
You know what I mean?
I think that's a really, really good mindset to have.
Yeah.
Anything else here, Nathan?
No, I think we can move on to communication now. So this is obviously the X factor who's going to be on Discord, you know,
This is what
jumping
SoloQ
on.
doesn't have.
Yeah, this is what
This is
SoloQ
it.
doesn't have. So this is the, you know, the edge, and you know, we've seen the case of both sides of communication doing wonders and also communication bombing, you know, ruining games and also ruining vibes and all that sort of stuff, right? So
Someone said in the comments of one of our recent episodes, Nathan, that according to you, every single game of League of Legends is either a stomp or it's bombed. Is that accurate?
Well, because I have such high expectations of my gameplay.
What a bomb for you looks is
Yeah,
different. Is
that's
that what you
right,
mean?
He might still win, but the game's bombed.
Bombed,
Yeah,
yeah.
that's actually true. Actually, it happened today,
Yeah.
didn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah. God, it's
so
funny.
you know, it's I'm making some really base. No, I might get over the line, I might win the game, but like I'm
bombed
not
it,
going 0-15, 0-20. That's a level below bomb, by the way. That's like,
That's atomic.
yeah,
That's an atomic bomb.
you've really got to fix some shit going on there. So we've got here, giving information to your teammates versus really focusing on, again, going back to sort of SoloQ again, like what you want, really your mental stack not overwhelmed about thinking about your teammates, especially as a laner, mid laner, top laner.
Yeah.
How much information should we be expecting to give in our teammates?
This is it. So what defines good and bad communication, in my opinion, is like the quality and quantity of the information provided. There's very little comms going on in the game where you're making plans. League of Legends is too fast to make strategic plans in the game. It has to be very, very snappy. And basically what it is just individuals sharing information about what they see on their monitor with their teammates. And then the outcome of those decisions is very obvious, right? Outcome of those information is very obvious. So the bad communication is either saying nothing or more often than not saying way too much and providing too much information and cluttering comms. And good communication is where you're able to pick out the signal from the noise in what you see and only communicate in very short bursts what's really important. And I think you're probably the best at this, Curtis, to be honest. I think when I play SoloQ and Nathan, so Nathan says fuck all when he plays Clash, I probably yap too much because I'm thinking I'm big brain. I see all 5 roles. I know exactly what's going to happen. I'm just like, yeah, you do that, mate. You go there, I'll go up there. All that stuff. But Curtis is very, very good at like just saying just one small thing like min missing or Ribbon could roam bot, or just like some crucial bit of intel. So how do you do that? What does that look like to you?
Yeah, so I just think that fundamentally, I just think everyone kind of is very good. Okay, so when people have information, most people can make great decisions, right? Like if I say that, okay.
No flash.
Yeah, well, mid has no flash. Well, I'm not there to play the jungle role or the support role, but I trust that if I say that this guy has no flash and they press tab and they say, I'm playing Lysandra and this guy has no flash, well, someone is going to probably make sense of that information to make a play.
Yep.
And that's not my responsibility to tell anyone to do anything, right? So if it is really, really, really urgent and I know and like the context maybe demands it, sure, I might say like I need something, but more often than not, in League of Legends, 99% of the time, the information alone is going to help people make the decision that they need to make. And an example of that would be this, right? So let's say I am playing, so I'm in mid and I'm versing an assassin or something. Let's say I'm versing like a Nefiri and I say Nefiri has, no flash here or whatever. Well, the reality is that the support might hear multiple pieces of information. He might hear something from the jungle saying, oh yeah, the enemy jungle showed topside. He might also hear mid has no flash. He might also hear that the top lane is saying, I want to fight. Rift is up in 30 seconds or whatever the hell it is. So that support has to like then use all that information to make a decision.
Yeah.
So, but if instead we replace that with Nathan said, "Oh, did you guys play defensive bot?" And Charlie says, "Oh, guys, I really want to fight. We need to fight this." And then I say, "You need to gank mid." Well, the support's mind's going to implode. It'd be a mental.
It becomes Armageddon so quickly.
That would just
so
solve 3 things, right?
Yeah.
And if that's happening again and again and again and again, the game gets really messy. So,
That's what most comms sound like, by the way. Is everyone saying everything? Oh my god, my laner has no flash. Oh, the fairy just used W on this way.
Yes.
Imagine you said that, like, or this top laner is out of mana or something. And the jungler and the support who like
just
responding down, like,
exploding.
what the bloody hell?
What does that mean for my
does that
game right
mean?
now?
Yeah.
Like, let's say the jungle's bot side or whatever.
So to give a practical advice, what I'm trying to say is that you need to give very punchy, relevant information that you think may influence people's decisions, right? So if I know that, like we just played a SoloQ game before, that Riven is moving to this play, I'm not going to tell you. I didn't say anything about what you should do there. Right, you were saying I'm looking to TP. Nathan didn't even say anything, but I don't need to say anything. I don't give a fuck what you do. I've given you the information that you need, and now that's up to you to make a decision. So that's a relevant piece of information. An irrelevant piece of information would be Riven it has like 85% HP or something.
Yeah.
You know, or whatever, you know, just something, or has no ignite. I wouldn't even say that. I don't think that's even relevant because you're going to make that decision anyway. So I think you need to think about what information is punchy enough that's not going to clutter comms that will influence people's
What are some
behavior.
common calls or bits of information that each role should mention?
Let's start with top.
Who has TP? I think it's very important. I have TP. I don't have TP.
Huge.
Enemy top has TP. Enemy top has no TP. I would say that's a mandatory thing that you must be saying. Chippy's actually released a video on YouTube recently, which I'll link here, about his recent play in the Esports Nations Cup qualifier, where his team New Zealand won the qualifier. And he talks about, he has a video also in Top Lane Academy talking about comms and stuff to do with that. And he says that, calming TP, you should actually be annoying, is what he says.
Yeah.
In the mid game, you should constantly be reminding your team, because like junglers and supports and everyone wants to fight. So what you can do is, instead of saying don't fight, you say, I have no TP, enemy top has TP. And then it's like, do with what you will. If you guys want to ruin the game with that information, fuck it, go for it.
Or they might know that's like, okay, we can get a quick pick. Like if we are going to make a pick, it has to be quick. Or
Yes,
it's a
exactly
chunk,
right.
and then they
Yeah,
back
exactly
off.
right. They'll at least make the decision with info.
Because if you said just don't fight, then they're in this different mindset.
Yeah, what
you
if
know?
there's a Nautilus in their face,
Yeah.
inting? You
Yeah.
have to try and get, I know what you're saying.
Or the other is applicable here as well, where they, let's say I have TP, the top laner doesn't.
Yeah.
The jungler might go for a play bot knowing that you have a TP advantage.
Yeah, it opens up opportunities
Exactly
as
right.
well, yes.
I tell you a really helpful piece of communication. I think it's practical for everyone. It's just like telling people when like they're weak. So like telling your teammates, like not so much like telling when the enemy's strong, or like maybe this champion's spiked at this point, be careful, or like, you know, this person's got 2 eyes. But whenever my teammates say I'm in a weak point right now, that changes my entire game plan and the way that I'm thinking about the game. Because I'm sort of, now I'm like playing towards their reference points. I'm thinking about, okay, I just need to be in a defensive mindset for the next, minute or so.
Yeah, so a way of getting that across would be say, I have no R.
Yeah, I don't want to fight with that all.
I have no. Yeah, I can't fight.
I need
have no
to
R.
base.
Yep, I need to
Yeah.
base. I have no R. Boom.
Yep.
Now,
I
again,
just
what
want to base on next wave to get my item. I don't know, something like that. Just like something that what you want.
It's something that's, I would even say it's things that you have to do. Like, you know what I mean? These are things like necessities. Like,
Yeah, it's like the word
more
wants might
necessities.
even be a bit too
I think
blasé.
one's too much. Like it's like necessities. It's like, you know that you've got like 2,000 gold in your back pocket.
Yeah.
You got a stack wave. You have to recall no R. It's like, I am basing. I have no R. I'm going to base.
Yep.
And then the jungle has to adapt.
So it seems like that's a common theme of what good comms look like, is like tell people what you want. Because you can't expect, going back to expectations, that everyone knows in every single moment of the game what all your teammates want. You know, it helps if you do know that. And I think the higher elo player you are, you're better at win condition assessment, especially from a jungle support position. You're going to know that. But I want that to be a really common theme of like people communicating, rather than people trying to micromanage and tell people what to do. It's like, just what do you want in this stage of the game? And communicate that to your team.
Speaking of what you want, going back to the roles, one of the more important ones again for a top laner or solo laner is just lane assignment. Just communicating your lane assignment ahead of time. Like if I have got teleport, for example, and we're going to play for Nash, I want to make sure I'm lane assigning bot. So I want to communicate with my mid laner in advance so we can sort out the correct lane assignment.
Yeah, I'm trying to think about top lane comms outside of TP. There's not that much. A top laner doesn't need to say much outside of, again, like if they're really strong, let's say you're playing a Renekton, it's like I don't mind them saying like,
I think top's diveable.
yeah, top's diveable, or things like we win a topside 3v3 or something, or like I don't mind that here and there.
I like bigger picture things. Maybe you guys disagree with this, but like I want to fight this next dragon.
yeah, I don't mind that.
Yep.
I don't mind that as long as it's well in advance. I don't mind
well
that.
in advance, yeah.
Jungle comms. Now, what I find really practically in games as a jungler in Clash is telling people I'm not going to gank you
Yeah.
here. If I gank this, I show on the map, I give the enemy jungler too many options, because let's say the top lane is heavy trade and they want to try and get a solo kill or whatever, but it's actually not worth for the game. So a lot of what you should be telling your teammates is like, this is not good. Going back to what I want, this is not what I want right now.
I love it when you say, I'm just full clearing into I'm like, here, I'm getting these games resetting.
Yeah.
I do like that because as a laner, I'm like, okay, I know now. It gives me plenty of time to think what I need to do with the next wave, right? What am I going to do? Like it makes it so clear. for me.
Junglers' jobs actually is saying no. Because for lane, everyone's yelling at you to do shit. You need to say no. The worst thing the jungler can do is say nothing, which is what Mr. Mott sometimes does.
Exactly. That's Nathan's
Okay,
weakness.
let's just nip that in the bud for a moment here. The past clashes and stuff, maybe I've been to the extreme of SoloQ mindset, but this clash and this example episode we're going to show here, because we're recording this before
Yeah,
Clash.
we're recording this before we play Clash, but there's going to be a full game, which you'll see in the
I am
timestamps.
going to be comment up the wazoo, especially when it comes to mid game.
All right.
All right, so that's my what's my
You know what
statement
Nathan's
here.
favorite mid-game com is? Is always Baron, Baron, Baron. That's what I remember you saying. Just like a pelican. Just Baron, Baron, Baron.
I think another really big responsibility for a jungler is to be really thinking high level about whether you're going to be contesting or trading an objective. I think that's really up to I think the support as well. Like just really quickly assessing the map and think, look at people's spikes and stuff. Okay, let's just do a trade side map play. Being the one to call that
Well in advance.
Well in
Again,
advance.
I keep saying that. It needs to be well in advance because that's the beauty of Clash, right? If you know well in advance, it's so easy to tee up an amazing split map play.
If your laners are the one telling you to trade sides of the map, that's a problem for you as jungle. That's the thing exposing your level of play as a jungle.
It is.
You know, that's got me thinking of something that happens in competitive play all the time, which is lane swaps, right? Like in competitive at the moment, there is still such thing as lane swaps. They're just delayed lane swaps where like the bot lane will run top at like 7 minutes, 8 minutes, something like this. Just like even before quest sometimes. Don't do that in Clash. I've had a lot of experiences where people like try and lane swap in Clash, even use level 1 lane swap. The game becomes unrecognizable.
From SoloQ, yeah.
What you want to do is you actually want to make the game look the most like SoloQ as you can, but just with a bit more cohesion. You don't want it to look like T1 versus Gen G.
And the reason is because you haven't done the reps of all the scenarios.
Yeah, you don't know what it looks like.
We're not here talking to, a team that's, if you scrim 10 hours a day.
If you've done that many times.
Then sure, go for that. But we're all playing SoloQ more than, so we do want to try and make the games look as SoloQ as possible. That's why we're talking about at the beginning. Don't overcook on like something you saw at MSI or Worlds or whatever like that, because you just haven't practiced it.
Yeah, make the game as easy to play for your teammates as possible.
So going back to, I would say mid-coms, it's very much about just like, I think communicating move, right? If like mid has move, mid can roam out of base, things like that, where like it's very clear comms about someone moving somewhere. I would say things around like,
what about invading with jungle? Like I have priority on this wave. Like let's go look for an invader. Or do you think that's more up to the jungler?
Nah, I think it's more up to the jungler. I would say my mindset when I'm playing mid is more like, how do I just do my job and then adapt? And then like, I'm more saying yes or no to plays. So if you as a jungler say like, I want to fight this dragon, then I'm going to think about that. Yeah. Then I'm going to come in with my assessment. Yeah. So if I say nothing, I'm sure that means I'm happy to go. But then if you're like, all right, dragons, I want to fight this next dragon, I'm going to think now critically, can I do this? I think a lot of the time as a mid laner, I'll get into this in a second, but I think that the comms evolve throughout the game. So I'll come back to that. I've got a big point about this because I think as a mid laner, how you communicate from minute 0 to minute 10 is very, very, very different to how you communicate from minute 15 to 25.
What are we talking about? Just more silent because you need to help yourself or you can help others?
We'll get into that.
Okay.
Let's move on to bot lane.
All right.
AD carry doesn't need to come very much at all, I would say. Like, I think AD carry talks to the support quite a bit. So I would say that, okay, I take that back actually. It's not about, the comms is very different. It's actually more of just a conversation. Actually, between the support and the AD carry. And I think
having a chat.
Yeah, just talking about what like trades. Like you have to comm micro. You actually do.
I think that's the
I'm
difference.
going to hook on this minion, or I'm going to look to trade on this creep, or I'm going to slow push this wave. Because you and the support, it's actually it's not as intuitive. You have to get a line on what you're doing. Maybe you say, okay, you can ward, I'll save my ward for this next bush, or like we're going to base off this wave, or I want to try and hit plates here. And that is honestly that's like the background noise of Clash. It should be the bot lane just fucking having a yarn, just having a talk about what's going on.
Yep.
I think that's fine.
Love it.
And support their side of things is just the same stuff as the AD carry, but calming their move as well.
And the enemy
support.
move.
Yeah. Yes. Enemy support move is probably the most important thing for all support to comm. Yeah.
I do want to see supports comming move around, grubs and
especially out of base. Moves out of base is very
exactly
big.
right.
Yeah.
So yeah, I do want to talk about this whole idea about evolving comms. Okay, so let's talk about, I think for all roles, this is the case, right? So speaking starters, first of all, from a mid laner's perspective, in the 0 to 10 minutes, I'm not talking much because I'm not doing much as a mid laner. I'm just focusing on my 1v1. I'm doing my job, right? But then the moment, so I might be, to get specific, I might be talking about my reset. I might be talking about a move. tempo, like who can be roaming, whatever. More, but then as I swap to the side lane and I'm in the side lane, I'm going to be saying a lot more because my mental stack is way more freed, right? I don't have to think as much about trades because I'm going to be ping-ponging waves, and I can start maybe saying things like, I want to dive side. I want to dive side here. I don't want to fight that jungle. Let's just trade sides of the map. I can actually start giving the jungler some potential direction about how we actually win the game, because I fundamentally view the mid lane role in mid game as very much kind of like a jungler in a way, where like you need to be controlling the macro game. I think the mid laner is the macro kind of conductor with the jungler in the mid game, because you're the one that is playing the champ a lot of the time, that has the utility, has the go buttons, is kind of the big dick player in a way, and the top laner and the AD carry are more to like just win the fights. You know what I mean? Whereas the mid laner and the jungler need to make the plays.
Yeah.
I would say that the AD carry is the absolute inverse of that, where the AD carry talks a lot,
Yes.
0 to 10, and then not at all, 10 to 25.
Yep, absolutely spot on.
Talking about the evolution of a jungler, I think the jungler can definitely be talking a lot throughout the entire game because they have the freest mental stack of everyone. But the way you would, like jungle tracking early game, it's like marking your opponent. Yes, early game, you really should be talking about jungle tracking because you know what the enemy jungler is doing more than anyone else in the game. Talking about, where I'm pathing towards, you shouldn't heavy trade.
That's really good comms, by the way. I love when you say that their jungler is doing this.
Yeah.
And again, you're not telling anyone, you're not telling top to stop trading, you're not telling mid to stop trading. You're just saying
They're there.
jungler is top side.
That's a juicy comm.
Really good comm.
And then as the game goes on, it's not really tracking the jungler anymore. It's more about, holistically like win condition and like how, you're going to play fights, or because a lot of the jungler actually has the go buttons. There's like Vi, Jarvan, all that type of champ. Like you're sort of saying what your mindset is the fight. Okay, I'm going to peel you AD carry here. I'm just going to save my Vi R for the Rengar the moment he hops out or something like that.
Yeah, exactly right.
Because the jungle tracking sort of goes away in the mid game.
Yeah, it's
up to
interesting.
your teammates to sort of know that.
Because sometimes actually it's a type of comm we haven't spoken a lot about, but I do think there is a type of communication around helping people change their behavior in fights.
Yeah, getting aligned on how our comp works.
Yeah, so
I think reminding that is good.
Yeah, because like there are many times I'm thinking practically. I'm thinking like if I'm playing a champion like let's say I'm playing Vex for whatever reason, a really good comm would be like, all right, I'm going to sit on you the Jinx and I'll peel Akali away from you. So that now Jinx knows moving into the next fight that like I don't need to be as afraid of Akali. Vex is going to be there. That's something that like, maybe the Jinx wouldn't have been thinking about, and so that will change their behavior. Like that's X factor information that can fundamentally change the fight.
Yeah, what if Nathan on J4 says like, yeah, enemy already has no flash, I'm going to try my best to flash on ahead next fight. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Everyone get ready.
But what if that doesn't happen? What if Orianna never exposes herself to get flashed on? What if Nathan has to then pivot? Does that not confuse everything? Is everyone going to be waiting for him to flash on Ori's head?
Well, that's where a lot of teams actually just lose the game. The Jarvan will just force that, and then your teammates as well won't know any other plan. There's no adaptation. So you constantly need to be in this adaptation mindset. At the end, that's why the switch is SoloQ. What we teach is SoloQ, what SoloQ teaches you. If you are hard trying to force a certain comp or a certain fight in a certain way, and you don't have an adaptation mindset, you just lose those games. You'll lose.
You do.
Is Jarvan the worst champ for Clash?
It can be.
Jarvan
can also be the best.
Jarvan is the ruiner because the way a SoloQ Jarvan plays and the way a Clash Jarvan plays is just so emblematic of how a player plays differently in SoloQ to Clash, because the SoloQ J4 is going to hit their camps like a Gurren, get strong, deal damage in skirmishes, and the SoloQ and the Clash J4 is going to build tanky, EQR every team fight, just ruin the game.
But at the same, to play devil's advocate, I do think like they have more information about the volatility of laners, like flashes and stuff.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
it should be good. I mean, J4 is broken in competitive play.
because I'm just thinking of like a Jarvan in SoloQ, like even if I ping a flash, it's so hard for that Jarvan to know, track everyone's summoners. But if you've got all the laners collectively really thinking critically about flashes, it makes the Jarvan's life so much easier in terms of like what they can and can't do, you know?
Yeah, it's not practically worse. It just always is worse.
Yeah, I see what you mean.
You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
yeah, I would tend to agree with that.
Mindset-wise, yeah.
Oh, is that enough for communication? Moving on to drafting.
What about like how much should you micromanage your teammates or cover people doing bad stuff? Like if you're the best player on your team, or you're let's say you're a diamond player playing with like literally like a platinum or a gold player in Clash, should you tell them what to do?
I would say in general, everyone should really be trying to think for themselves and help themselves before they, help themselves before they help others, because that's just going to get you the longest way. Like I'll say in general.
In general. But I would say this is where some common sense needs to be applied, right? Like if you're say you're the highest ranked player on the team and you are the 80 carry, okay, for whatever reason, right? And this 80 carry actually has the mental stack capacity in some of those mid-game lull states to really start thinking about, he notices some things about the way the game is playing out. Maybe the jungler is just over-diving in fights. Maybe the top laner is desyncing pressure all the time. Maybe the mid laner is panicking and whatever, rushing CC, whatever it might be. That 80 carry might be able to see some just very simple things such as, guys, just maybe to the Jarvan, can you try to play around me, try to peel back on fights for me? Or can we actually just try to sync up around this next neutral, whatever? Traditionally, the 80 carry wouldn't have to say these sorts of things, but the 80 carry might be able to say in that because of the expanded mental stack and the confidence and maybe the awareness of how to win that game, can drop some truth bombs here and there that could shape the way those people play that game.
Yeah, maybe they tell their mid laner, like, just because you have TP, you don't have to go to the side lane. You can actually just group with the objective.
Exactly right.
Yeah.
So, like, in a way, it's interesting because I kind of do that in SoloQ as well. Like, I don't want to, but sometimes I do want to have the mental stack capacity. I'll give you a practical example, right? So this morning I played a game and my top lane Mundo was like never grouping. And I was doing all the right thing. I'm aware of the next neutral. I'm getting in position. I'm using fog. I'm clearing. But I'm like, we're just losing fights because our Mundo is not grouping. So then I type in chat, Mundo, we need you to group. But I would never usually do that. But because I have complete clarity of how to win that game and I have the actual expanded mental stack, I was able to do that. And then, the moment he grouped, we win the game. So the same thing applies in Clash. So if I was jacked up to the tits and I didn't have my mental stack available and I actually didn't have complete clarity, I'm probably not going to say that. So I think you need to be kind of honest with yourself and really use some common sense there.
I also think a big part of that is not just providing missed opportunities, but like calming people down. There's a certain type of individual who, when they play Clash, they get, like you said, jacked to the tits and they just want to fight. And they see they're like Neo in the Matrix, but they see every single minion wave as an opportunity to do something. I'm going to throw Coach Lucas under the bus here. When we played some Clash recently, Coach Lucas was doing this quite a lot. He would push a side wave, and then every single wave, I see him in the background there, is an opportunity for him to like win us the game.
Let's go. I can go in. We can go in. We can go in.
Everyone is like, we need to hold your horses, mate. Like, let's just slow it down. As Nathan would like to say, slow it down.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good comp as well. Just like really recognizing big picture what's going on and slowing things. You can also do that in the review as well.
Totally.
Yeah.
So we've gone away and done our own process for preparing our drafts for Clash, and now we're going to share that with you, talk a little bit about how to draft, how to think about it, and so let's start with, what did we do? What was the first thing we did to prepare?
Okay, we start that. That was the most wordy shit I've ever heard. Just say,
for some reason your tone is so like, you're like a librarian.
Right, just say, but now it's all about draft, right? Draft is what we're talking about.
I know, just give us a
fucking
second.
draft, right? Start again. Clap. Fuck me.
Go put a few sentences.
I
did that to the live stream as well.
You do, yeah. Your brain breaks.
Retarded. All right, ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so this is going to be the draft section of our ultimate guide to Clash now. So we've done our own preparation and now we're going to share it with you.
Yeah, so the first thing when preparing Clash is obviously you need to pick which champions you're going to draft. Draft is made up of champions. So we each went away as individuals and we decided on some champions, and then we came together and compared the pair, right? Because fundamentally, what you want to think about when you have your Clash team is, do you have one-dimensional players? That is step one. You need to find out, do you have any players on your team? Maybe they're off-roll, maybe they're OTPs, maybe they have a small pool or play in a weird way. They need to be kind of the cornerstone of how you approach every draft, right?
Because they're going to be playing those champs regardless.
Yeah, they're going to play those champions, yes. And then you're going to have some players who have deeper champion pools, usually those that are on-roll. And they can be more adaptable, and they might even be able to select exactly who they want to play for that weekend based on what their teammates can
Well, and that's
play.
exactly what we did, right? So we've got an image on the screen here that will show kind of the pool that we've all selected for this kind of rotation of Clash. And I remember going through this, right? So obviously Nathan is the player on the team that has a unique champion pool. So we decided to really build a lot of our draft strategy around Nathan's pool.
And what we mean by that is I play more supportive type, utility type champions.
Right.
I'm not playing carry jungle.
You play no AP champions.
And
as well.
no
No
AP
AP, so you're not. We're not. There's going to be no Graves and Kindreds and any of these like Lilias. Like there's no carry junglers. It's mainly just secondary carry setup utility, right? So what that basically means for me, and the way I kind of thought about my champ pool is like, okay, what are champions that can synergize with that, and complement that to create some sort of synergy when we go about drafts, right? So I had to pick and choose and actually use this week to prepare some champions for this upcoming draft. So if you are a little bit more of a sophisticated player with an in-depth champion pool, you might want to start practicing or warming up some of these picks for the Clash weekend.
And it's easy as just making a spreadsheet. It's really good to visualize it. Like just writing it down, and then you can sort of look to add or remove just the actual like act of putting it on paper for everyone to see. It's sort of like gives some accountability. It's like, oh my God, I'm actually going to play, Aatrox for Charles, for example.
Yeah.
You know? And like, do we really want to do that? Do we want to commit to that? So just create a spreadsheet, Google Sheets.
And there's also another step here that is actually step number one is being honest about what's going to get banned. Right?
Yeah,
Nathan's
exactly
very
right,
famous
yeah.
for his Rek'Sai. There's no way that his Rek'Sai is not going to get banned. So we've come in with the mindset that even though we would love to get Rek'Sai, it's probably going to be banned. So with that being said, we've really tried to prep drafts with that in mind. So if you guys have players on your team that are going to get scouted very easily, just prepare for that scenario.
And that could be like simply they're just going to look in the is it called the scouting?
Yeah, the scouting section.
They're just going to go to the highest elo player, look at their best champs, and then they're just going to ban those champs.
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, if we play Clash and we see someone has 100 games on, I don't know, Riven top, and their next most played is 10 games on Set or something, we're probably banning Riven. You know, keep it very, very simple.
Very simple.
Yeah. Okay, so after you've identified kind of who your player is that has like a one-dimensional style that they're bringing to the table. I will say though, Nathan did. We played Graves in our last Clash, if you remember, when we accidentally picked a champion.
We won,
and he did play well.
He did play well.
work. But this is what Nathan's good at. It's not what he can do. It's what he's good at.
And also, by the way, the way we've ordered these lists is kind of based on comfortability as well, right?
Right.
So like Charles, you've put kind of your Gragas and Renekton at the top of the list, probably the two gems that you probably want to prioritize. Nathan obviously is his Rek'Sai and Jarvan. You know, I've probably got my Ari and my Victor at the top and so on and so forth. So it is important if you can highlight them in order in terms of like, what do you feel the most comfortable with, right? Because it's going to help you prioritize particular drafts.
And don't do it the reverse. Don't approach this of like, what are the ultimate team comps or whatever. Do what you're best with, most comfortable with in SoloQ first, and then do that later. So don't do it the other way around.
Exactly right. We're creating the drafts at the end based off what we've got to work with.
That's correct.
Right?
Yes.
We've all been honest about what can we play, what can't we play, where's our mastery at? Because ultimately what we're trying to create are team compositions that have some sort of cohesion, but are within the realm of like our levels of champion mastery. We have champion mastery to some degree on these champions. And the best case scenario would be we all be playing our champions with the most mastery with a composition that actually has cohesion. That would be like the perfect outcome.
Yeah, and that's what we're going to strive to do as much as possible. So yeah, since I'm playing off-role, I'm playing top lane. You can see my pool there. It's Gragas and Renekton, as Nathan said. Those are my two best champions. If I'm ever off-role top lane in SoloQ for the past like 5 years, I just play those. And when I did have a brief stint in top lane, they were my best. So I'm very comfortable blinding those. I think as a solo laner, it's good to have blinds, especially as a top laner. I'm very comfortable just blinding those any matchup. Initially, this list for me looked very different. I had Vayne on there. I had Gwen on there. I had like Nah on there at one point. And then we just realized like I suck at those champions actually.
Well, we played some SoloQ. We duo again. I mean, Charles just said, what does it feel like to play these champs?
Just feels shit. Just feels shit.
So it's like, see you later. Be brutal. Be brutal with this
Well,
list.
it's good that Charlie was honest with himself, right? Because ultimately, people are going to say, can you play that? Can you play that? And, you know, sometimes you just got to be the bigger man and say, you know what? I'm probably not going to I'm not going to be comfortable enough to play it. So it is what it is.
And I had some good matchups as well. I'm like playing Gwen in good Gwen spots, just ruining the game. So just accept reality. Yep. That's it. And now you guys are going to have to cop my Anivia. I'm actually a decent Anivia top, decent blind pick again. And then Aatrox and Camille and Ornn. The reason there's not many tanks in top lane is, again, because of Nathan's pool. I actually play some tanks, but I've got Ornn in there because it's just nice to have an Ornn in the pocket. You know, if any top laners out there would understand, having an Ornn in the pocket for Clash is always juicy if you need it. But I'll only pull that out if required.
Okay, so now what we're going to do is let's go through our process of like some very vague drafts that we've planned, right? So at the end of the day, we don't know exactly what the drafts are going to be, but your mindset needs to be, okay, what are some baseline structures such that we can follow these kind of rules of thumb per se to kind of build some, at least compositions that have some level of cohesion. So Charlie, you want to walk us through the 4 drafts that we have here?
Yeah, sure. So based on Nathan and Nathan's pool, we basically designed some drafts for each of his comfort picks in this one. So starting off with Skarner. So Skarner is a very, very specific jungler, right? He's a tank jungler. He deals literally no damage. So he needs damage around him. So you start with that hypothesis, right? You put the Skarner in, and generally speaking, if you want to draft one of these champions that kind of requires your teammates to pick certain things, you want to pick them early in the draft. So this yellow draft at the top here, Skarner number 1, that means you pick him early in the draft. And then what makes sense to play with a tank jungler is usually a hyper carry of some kind in the AD carry spot and a high damage mage in the mid lane position. The last thing you want is Skarner, Jhin, and Ahri, for example. That would really suck because that is a comp that has no cohesion. Everyone's trying to like pass each other the ball and no one can score. And then, yeah, some other parts of the draft are less important. Like, it's more important to have a hyper carry than it is to have like the perfect top laner. You can kind of slot whatever you want in there. I would say not a tank would be ideal.
Not a tank for top lane, definitely.
Yeah. So an AD bruiser would be ideal in that draft there. And then considering we're going to have so much engage from jungle and mid, an enchanter support would help supplement that hyper carry. So you can see how we've built it out from the top down, starting with the Skarner and then just slotting in what makes sense and avoiding what feels bad. I think that's the more important
I think that's
bit.
the key, right?
Yeah.
We're not trying to create the perfect draft, but we're trying to like basically prevent disasters.
Yes.
Right? And that's what we've had in the past when we've come into Clash. We've come into drafts when we're unprepared. We find ourselves in binds where we're like, we have now an Ashe with a Skarner. Okay, that's not good.
Yeah.
And then and there's no way to fix that draft because the fundamental structure of it is really broken.
Yeah, exactly.
Right? So you really want to prevent those terrible picks. And this is the best way to do that.
I'm feeling Skarner. This is my most exciting draft. I'm feeling most comfortable Skarner heading into Clash. So I'm putting that out there.
Oh, if me and Nathan play Skarner right next, and the game's over, I'm pretty sure. We'll just win every game.
Most likely.
Okay, number 2, we have here Nocturne, but this is a bit different because we've reverse engineered it, but then kind of picked the champions back to front based on blind ability. So Nocturne is another champion Nathan's great at. Again, assuming Rek'Sai is banned and we want to play this draft, you would actually pick like the mid lane and the AD carry earlier than the Nocturne because you don't want to show that champ too early because the problem is if you show a Nocturne early in a draft, the enemy can pick specific things into it. They can pick a
lot of
like
mobility.
Xayah, stuff like
Akali.
Ezreal, Akali, like really tanky stuff, just annoying stuff.
Very
in Nocturne.
annoying.
But engager mids and utility/wave clarity carries are very blindable, and they're the kind of thing you would want with
They're very
Nocturne.
flexible. So I could, for example, we might early pick something like an Ahri with like an Ezreal or an Ahri with a Jhin.
Yep.
Or something like that. And that's not really going to give away our composition, but it's also going to make sure that we have viability with the Nocturne, right?
Yep.
So that one's a little bit more niche. A bit different to Skarner, right? Because Skarner, as long as you have the Skarner with the hyper carry, it doesn't really matter what else is played with it. Where in this case, it kind of does matter.
That's right. And something that I think we're taking for granted a little bit is something we're trying to prioritize a lot is like multi-thread and like damage coming from multiple different people. I see a lot of Clash teams where it's like, we're going to pick Ornn top, we're going to pick Skarner jungle, we're going to pick like Jinx Lulu, and then just like, I don't know, just like a boring mid laner, you know, like a Syndra mid even. There's not enough juice in the tank in a comp like that.
And it also makes it very easy to play against. It's just everyone's like, all right, we got to kill the Jinx. We win the game, have 0 damage.
Yeah, exactly right. So with that comp as well, if we do have some sort of an engager mid and utility AD carry, slightly less damage, so a bit more damage from top would be helpful. And also Nocturne's good with Silaners.
Yep.
So our third draft, the only champ we got listed is just Jarvan, and same principle of like what in general do we want to have with it? Like damage, we want the top lane with damage.
Yeah.
We want an engager with Jarvan, so Curtis is playing sort of like, the Vex.
Or an Aurora.
Or an Aurora or Ahri. And then, this is more of a flexible one, then the ADC support can sort of just be whatever we're feeling like.
Yep, as long as, again, I'm playing a damage champion. We don't want a triple, supportive top side.
Agreed.
Because we're going to be picking the Jarvan and the engager mid lane early in the draft.
Probably early, yeah.
Yeah, and then last, we just have an overlap in the pool. Coach Lucas, who is going to be our support for the evening, is a mid laner. So he said he wants to play some Camille support. It's cool. It's also in my champion pool, so we can early pick a Camille and flex it. And it's just something we want to come in with as a plan. And then we can kind of just adapt from there, with the one caveat being we probably don't want to play a hyper carry if it's Camille support.
Yep. So look, this can look very, very different for your team. It doesn't have to look anything like this, but really the principles to summarize here, what we would really love people to think about is who is the person on your team that you feel as though needs to be built around? Mm-hmm. That's step number one. And then step number two is trying to find, cohesion among the champion pools, right? You don't want to have, a tank top player and then a tank jungle player and then with a full assassin mid laner. It's just not going to make a lot of sense. Try to warp your pools or try to prioritize particular champions in your pools to create some sort of cohesion there. And have some sort of a rough idea about what you're early picking in your drafts.
Yeah.
Right? It doesn't need to be perfect, but what are the champions that are quite flexible and can have that element of cohesion? So you might get your way through halfway through the draft and you're feeling like, hey, we can go a lot of directions. And that's really the key to success. That at least then you're going to minimize disastrous drafts.
Yep. No, exactly right. And I think as well, you do want to be rigid with sticking to your champs. The reason we've written them down here isn't just because it's an idea. We will be playing these champions. Yeah. You will not see a champion not picked on this list, right? Because I think, and that's why they're a bit longer as well. I don't necessarily need 6 top laners in the top lane list. You probably don't need 6 mid laners, but it's just because if we do get to one of those weirder drafts, it's also pre-prepared and we're not trying to literally scroll through the bloody list of champs on the client looking for a weird pick.
Exactly.
Because that literally leads to disaster and it's happened before.
I think it happened to us last Clash.
Yeah, exactly right.
So this leads us to a few questions people have about drafts. So the first question here we have written down is, are certain champions better in Clash than they are in solo queue?
Yeah, I mean, the first thing that comes to mind with this is just tanks in general. Skarner in solo queue compared to Skarner in competitive. I think Skarner just is nicer because, again, your teammates will draft around it a bit more. You can guarantee damage in other roles, and also there's a bit more cohesion.
Yeah,
so more utility champions are generally just better, aren't they?
And then in the top lane, you've got the Ornn, the Cassante. Cassante is horrendous in solo queue, but you still see it picked in the pro play and stuff like that. In terms of the other roles, ADC, I think is very much
cut and dry.
Yeah,
either way.
cut and dry.
Same as mid.
I actually think there's just champions that are just fundamentally worse in Clash in those roles.
Agreed.
Hyper early game champions, generally Dravens and Callistas will do way better in solo queue than in Clash.
Yeah, I would say it's more so champions that require chaos to get online, right? Let's say, for example, Katarina.
Yeah.
A Katarina in solo queue is going to have a much better time because there's more chaos, there's more cleanup opportunities, and people are not constantly giving everyone information, right? So if you're playing something like a Pyke, for example, in solo queue, there's going to be lapses in communication, lapses in focus, lapses in vision. Whereas in competitive, that's going to happen a lot less.
Yeah.
Right? So that is another thing as well.
Yeah. Also, top lane, range top lane is champions like Teemo fucking dominate in solo queue, but in competitive in Clash, there would just be a strategy around that team.
They're hard. I wouldn't say they're bad. I don't think a team is...
They're just not as effective.
Not as effective.
Exactly right.
Yeah. Yes, I would say split pushes for top as well in solo queue are much better than competitive as well.
Fiora, right, is famously something that I remember back in the day when we used to coach Direwolves was we really found it hard to make work in competitive play for many reasons, right? Because the enemy would just group. And then we've got a Fiora who can't team fight, right? And even though if Fiora can scale and team and split push, the game wouldn't get to that point.
Yeah.
So, it's not saying it's impossible, but you've got to have a strategy around it if you're going to make these more niche picks work.
What do you think about the engage supports? Lucas has quite a lot of engage ones here, Leona, Nautilus, a bit more weird ones with the Camilla Elise. There's a lot of pressure and burden of execution of that. Do we think that's a little bit more difficult or easier in terms of competitive versus just playing the enchanters like the Seraphine that we've got here, Lulu, Soraka, those type of champions?
Yeah, I think it just depends on matchup for some of those engaged champions. Enchanters, you kind of can just get left in the dust in the Clash games is the problem. If you end up playing something really passive like a Sona, which I think is really good in solo queue, enemy support can just do more things like impact midwave, impact jungle skirmishes. And in solo queue, it doesn't really matter because we can drag that game out. We can kind of play for yourself and be a bit more selfish, but it doesn't work as well in Clash because the enemy jungle support will just be more synergized, will do more things together, make enemy laners' lives hell for that. So yeah.
I would say so. I do want to kind of shift the question here to like, what are there certain characteristics of champions that tend to succeed in Clash? Right. For example, right, I think having compositions that have go buttons, that have engage, tools, right? So what do you guys personally prioritize or want to see in a team composition in Clash, and what do you want to avoid?
What do I want to avoid?
I want to avoid
What junglers blow in Clash?
Well, the first thing I feel like when I see a team comp with like no engage tools, like just like, you know, a Victor, Kindred, Gwen top, and then like, you know, in your chance ADC, but like that's just like could be a very disastrous draft because you're very much reactive, waiting for them to mess up, and in terms of competitive, like they can really push the pace of the game, push the league. You know, they might not throw as hard or just throw themselves into. So I would say that's really the only one I can really think of. I mean, I think, you know, right in the balance team in the league, it's you can play a lot nowadays. You know, I think it's not. Do you guys agree with that?
Well, I would say that, but I would say priority and strong laning.
Yeah, I was going to say, I think most players outside of like really high level should be avoiding stuff like Kale. They should be avoiding stuff like Kassadin. They should avoid
So we don't like scaling here.
Well, not
too much scaling.
Hyper scaling in specifically in bad matchups should be avoided at all costs. I also think just like locking in a shitty tank in a game where that, like in a bad matchup where you're just going to ruin the game for your team, go down 100 farm.
Well, how many times do you see that in Clash where someone's like, yeah, it's fine, guys, I'm going to fix the composition, pick an Ornn.
Yeah.
And they go down like 60 CS and then they just never can get a team fight off and they just lose their game. Or the same thing with a tank jungler or whatever the hell it might be, trying to fix the composition.
Yeah.
But they probably would have been better off just playing something they're comfortable with, even though it is maybe a little bit worse in terms of like cohesion, because at least they have some semblance of priority. Like I think there is this like delicate balance between like playing for a composition versus playing for like a matchup that's really going to allow for priority. Now, obviously, you could think of this in extremes, right? It's like, oh, I can play Teemo and I can dominate this matchup and I'm going to offer nothing to the team comp. Vice versa. The other side would be I'm going to pick Ornn or, you know, some Maokai top, whatever the hell it is, and just get obliterated in the 1v1.
Yeah.
So I feel like you want to be somewhere in the middle where it's like, okay, I don't need to have the greatest synergy with my team, but I do want to have some ability to contest the 1v1. Do you see what I mean?
I would say that that's also great for SoloQ though.
True.
Like Gragas and Renekton fall into that bucket. Like they're not like the best SoloQ champions, but they're never going to be bad, you know, because they always have timers to play on. They have great tools. Renekton Flash W.
Yep.
Gragas obviously has lots of tools as well. And you can just offer stuff. You give opportunities to your team. I think that's the biggest one. You can like alley-oop your team to do stuff. Whereas if you're playing the Kale or like the Kassadin or like something like a Master Yi jungle or something, there's no alley-oop to be done.
No. Yeah, I mean, and those games in Clash competitive are painful when you're just like, you're thinking you're going to scale, but like you just never even get there or even get close. And it's so frustrating. You're playing out the game, like everyone's like playing around you knowing you got to scale, but you're just losing everything. Every dragon, every jungle camp, you know, you're just getting shoved in all three lanes. And that's not a fun experience. You're just going to lose in Clash and competitive.
I've written down something here to remind myself. When you are deciding what these pools are, you need to be at peace with what your teammates are picking and what they're playing. So like that time where you're all prepping your pools and you're deciding your champions, if you're really upset by something someone else has picked, we need to bring it up beforehand so we can actually be at peace with it. Like if I really, well, Nathan, I know you fucking suck at Vi or something. We need to have a tough conversation. Like why is Vi on your list? You know, like,
well, that's the benefit of this exercise, right? Because it's all brought to the forefront. If you don't want to be last minute, someone's like, oh, you know what? I don't feel comfortable. I want to play this. It's like, well, that champ sucks. Why are we playing that? You know?
Yeah.
That's an awkward conversation.
Exactly.
There is no conversation to be had. You're in the middle of the draft, right?
Yeah, exactly right. Yeah.
But funnily enough, even though that sounds obvious, that has happened a lot.
Yeah.
Both back in our professional coaching career where someone wouldn't feel comfortable on stage or they'd say, I want to play this. And you're like, where the hell did that come from?
Yeah.
Or in Clash where it's like, oh, you know, I'm going to play this. I'm like, why are we playing this?
Or someone like this having a competitive a lot though. Someone would play something, I would offer it in draft, they'd pick it, and then we'd lose the game or something, and they'd be like, I didn't want to play that then.
Yeah.
It's like, well, why didn't you say something?
Why didn't you say
it's
it?
like people get nervous in draft, I think. They get very nervous around this kind of thing.
You do have to do your prep, guys. Like you don't want to be ganked by shit happening in draft. You want to have at least some sort of an idea.
And don't just like I forget the word, but don't just like let other people decide for you either. You need to be assertive.
A pushover.
No, you need to just decide. Like, fuck it. I want to play this. This is what I'm good at. Like, fucking figure it out, you know, and then have a compromise.
don't chase like the perfect draft, because that's why people say pick me this or whatever, because they think, oh, this is just the best champ for this game, but they're not actually that confident on it or whatever. And then the game just feels so weird when that happens.
So I used to do this back in the day, right? Back in the day, Nathan Dials, my mindset a lot of the time was, don't worry, early pick me this. I know subconsciously that like I'm probably gonna lose, but like my mindset is like I'll be like carryable in a way, right? Where like I'm not going to lose so hard.
Yeah.
And so I remember vividly many times where it's like, all right, it's fine. Let me get counterpicked. Back in the day, I was like playing Oriana into Zed or something. It's just not a good matchup. But I can sit there, I'll go down like 30 farm. But in hindsight, if I were to go back in time, that's such a terrible mindset to have.
Yeah.
I should have more been like, this is a bad matchup. I don't want to be in this. Like, let's find a middle ground here instead of sacrificing myself. And I think a lot of players do have that personality of like, I'm going to be that sacrificial lamb for the team player, but that actually bites your team in the ass, because if you're now this really behind laner that can't deal with the 1v1, you're going to create a lot of problems in that game.
And that's a SoloQ mindset you're having there, Curtis. That's why I said that at the beginning. That's the first thing I said at the beginning of this episode is that I really don't think that the SoloQ mindset gets you a long way. In
it can avoid some
Clash.
potholes, for sure.
Yeah, right. I think as well, like what I've personally done, I haven't written it on the sheet, but I have got in the back of my mind what sort of champions I want banned based on my picks as well.
Let's talk about bans.
Yeah, like I think the easiest way to ban Clash, and what you probably should do for 99% of the time, is just do the research on the client. You get to see your bracket and just ban OTPs on the enemy team, ban their best champions, or ban champions that you really, that people have mental blocks against. I think that's a really big one. Like if I have mental block against Fiora, for example, I'm just going to beg my team for Fiora. And the key here is just like drop your ego. That happens all the time where like, especially with top laners, for some reason top laners just do this all the time where it's like, that guy's like a really good Aurelia player, but we can just leave it open. And then we go into game, Aurelia first blood. And it's just like, fuck that. You know, just drop your ego and ban their good champions because they will do it to you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think in the weird event where like maybe there's only one or two bans, like you said, that really need to be banned because there's OTPs. I love your comment there about just like banning mental block champions. Even if it's unlikely that they get picked, I'm a big fan of that, because in the event where those picks get, actually chosen in that draft, it's just going to cause so many headaches.
Like Shay goes support.
Shay goes, get that shit out of my game. If I see that, I'm going to lose.
Yeah.
And I'm not afraid to admit that. And it's being, and notice the theme of this episode, by the way, when we're getting into the section, a lot of it is vulnerability and communication, isn't it? Just being, and this is why picking the right teammates matters. If you don't feel comfortable speaking your mind and saying what you actually feel, you're kind of just screwed.
Yeah, I think that's a good point, because like even when we've chosen all the champions we're playing, it's not like we're like looking up like what did T1 play at MSI?
No.
Like, what happened? We've just picked what we play.
I love that.
That's what
actually.
it is,
How many people are trying to figure out the meta?
Yeah, none of us have picked meta champions. have
No,
we?
not a single one of us have thought about what's being played at MSI or in competitive at the moment. We don't give a shit. It's more about what can we play? What are we comfortable with? And let's work with that. So meta it's a great thing. Meta does not matter for Clash. You're not a competitive team, right? You're not playing in pro leagues. Drop your ego. It doesn't fucking matter. Play what you can play.
Yep. Okay, so amount of champions, I guess it's kind of straightforward, but you just want to have at least more than 5 champions, because there could be 5 bans.
Yep.
I think pretty straightforward there. Like I said, I have 6 champions listed, but I'm very comfortable just picking the top 2 every game. So you don't have to play all of them, but it's just good to have the backups written down.
There's another one here. It's encountering enemy comp.
Yeah.
Right. So notice how we're not really too concerned with the way we're approaching drafts about like finding the perfect counter to the enemy composition. Right. I think for the most part, your mindset needs to be more about what do you guys want to play? Right. Because the moment you start thinking about how do we counter this enemy composition, you're going to get yourself into some weird ruts, because again, you're only playing these champions, guys. Remember, you're only playing to the champions that you can play.
And the reason why it's just more important to focus at what you're good at is that because when you're playing champions that you're comfortable in League of Legends, you can deal with a lot of situations. You know, how many times do we win hard games? In SoloQ, really bad drafts with our champion because we're so good at it, so much Shea Mastery just overrides the countering people.
Yeah, for sure.
You're talking about the whole Gwen version. You just picked a bunch in SoloQ. You said, I'm just getting it off my list. I can't even win this matchup in the SoloQ game, right?
Yeah. Yeah, but also conversely though, like both me and Curtis have champions in our pools that are specifically good in niche spots, but they're down the list. You know, like Curtis has Swain and Vex for specific
more
spots.
niche.
I've got Aatrox against like melee comps as well, and then Ornn if I have to have it in a specific spot. And then even AD carry, Sybil here has Xayah at the bottom there, just a nice pick into certain comps. So if you have the pool for it, it is nice to squeeze like an Exodia champion in. But we spoke about this in the draft episode, which I'll link here, which is like you don't really want to pick team comps that counter the enemy comp. You're picking individual champions that counter aspects of the enemy comp.
Yes.
Like you're punishing like low damage with tanks. You're punishing melee champions with like Swains and Aatroxes and stuff.
Because one pick goes a long way in League of Legends.
You're punishing immobility. Like if Nathan sees Orianna first pick, just slam Jarvan. You know what I mean? Like the stuff like that.
Yeah, exactly right. I think it's something that is not intuitive. People think you got to counter the whole composition, but it's sometimes just countering one or two champs.
Yeah, even
Goes
just
a long
one.
way.
You can just ruin one champion's life.
Yep.
Yeah, and just win the game that way.
I think there's really that much else really for draft, is there?
No. So what we're going to do now is we're going to showcase our draft. We're going to have picked at least one game to showcase in this video. There's going to be the draft section, then the full game, and then the review. So without further ado, shall we get into that now?
Dude, we're against Carnaby, Jungle Academy member.
Wow, your favorite. So we have to bet
used to.
Zach.
Zach OTP, yeah.
Oh, we need to. Yeah, that Xiaoji guy is very good at Aphelios, by the way. We should benefit.
Okay.
We should benefit.
Because they were fairly affiliates of Lulu, right? Yeah.
Maybe, yeah. Carnaby's been practicing top lane. He could be the top laner. So
He
it's
seems
hard
to be in the
because
position of a top laner.
for the first match of Clash, it's tricky because you can't tell who's playing what because they don't have a match history yet.
Yeah.
Who's playing what here?
So what I like to do sometimes is go check if they've played a normal draft game before the series,
Mm-hmm.
and they have not. So
Genius.
they've not done that.
So I think
Those
our first ban should be Zach, Aphilos, and Ari.
I don't think we need to ban Ari.
They have first pick.
Ari's on. Wait, is he like an Ari OTP?
Is he an OCP, Nathan? How'd you know that?
I respect the Zach ban.
I can't even copy the guy's name because his name is in
Yeah, neither.
Chinese. Curtis, you need to type it in.
Yeah.
I can't type that name in.
Curtis.
I don't know all the fucking characters there. I know what it says. It says like I'm sorry, I have no heart or some shit. But I don't know the middle bit.
Some edgy name.
Yeah, it's an edgelord. It says Dweb, which means sorry, and the last bit says Wameo Shin, which means I have no heart.
Oh, that's pretty good.
Well, I have
Pretty
no
good
heart.
accent.
But yeah, I don't know how to copy paste that either.
I mean, the client's just fucked. I can't.
But if you go history, that tells you their recent games, right?
Yeah, but they haven't all
Yes.
played together. Okay, anyway, so we'll definitely ban Zach. Now, their support
Yes.
is a big enchanter player. They play Lulu and Melio and Yumi. I think a Lulu ban would be pretty fucking good, personally.
Yeah, agreed.
I actually don't care too much about Aphelios. Oh, no, we should still ban Aphelios. I think we ban all three. I think we ban Zach, Lulu, and Aphelios. I think they're the bans. Based on their champions. And then what they're going to do is they're going to play like another hyper carry, like Varus or Yunara with like a Melio or something. So think about what bot lane pairing you'll have into that.
Wait, so sorry, we're banning Zach, Lulu, Aphelios.
Correct, yes.
Okay. Cool.
I think
All
the
right,
top
so
laner
in terms
is
of our
Follow
drafts,
Yep.
we're gonna into their champs. Which comp do you think is best here?
Bank.
You want the Skarner comp?
I mean, if they pick an immobile AD, then they seem to be a very AD carry centric drop team.
Yeah,
right? So I think
yeah.
like Dive is pretty good.
We could maybe like early flex the Camille, maybe.
Yeah. We could try Camille.
Well, that
I
means
mean,
the Skarner draft isn't good then, right?
Yeah.
they'll play Melio if you play Camille, and Melio kind of dumps his Camille support.
Yeah, I think we try and get support pick later, right?
Yeah, we should.
agree.
I think dropping support and then banning more enchanters is pretty useful.
This guy seems to play Vayne. He says Vayne is his second highest thing. So I don't want to be in a scenario where we're playing Vayne into fucking Skarner.
Yeah.
No, his second
I
most
agree.
played champion is Jinx. It goes Aphelios, Jinx, Yunara,
Oh, okay.
Smolder. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, they'll just play Jinx Melio or something.
Yeah, true. Okay.
I hate that.
You don't want to play against that?
I mean, I just lose so much that I feel like.
Why don't you just match it with like a fucking Seraphine?
Yeah, we should probably do that, yeah.
Yeah, we can do that.
And Nathan, what do you think about like
Well, if they're playing Enchanters, I
Nocturne.
should play a Nocturne.
yeah, Nocturne, yeah, correct. Yeah.
Okay, we can do a Nocturne draft.
All right.
I can only pick Ari, honestly. Yeah, there's not really many things that beat Ari.
Yeah. What side of the map are we? We're red side,
know.
right?
We know by now?
Isn't it in the drafts? It says Nocturne with not Seraphine. Is that correct?
Yeah, if we're gonna do the Nocturne draft, we probably should do like something
Yeah.
with Engage.
Yeah, just like Leona or Nautilus or
What was in your pool? It was-
Camille.
Yeah, Leon and
I like the Camille into Emilio.
You like Camille?
I feel like
into
Leona
Emilio.
would be too easy to counter.
I mean, they're both pretty hard, but yeah.
Your round is starting.
I mean, to be honest with you, if they pick blind Melio, you can play whatever. It's not like it's a lane building.
Yeah.
Why my support?
Oh. We can trade.
You guys should trade, so you have the right thingies, yeah.
So we are red side.
Yeah, so we're red side, yeah. So I'm already thinking of like 5 feet Camille kind of bangs. Or
Okay.
flexing till 5 or something.
Okay. So the first ban was a Zach, right?
Zach.
Yeah,
Yep.
yeah.
Zach, Ilios, Lulu.
I put it in the chat.
As Charles has typed in the chat. Oh, J4.
Ooh.
Wow.
Tiger ban
I'm
needed.
impressed. What does that say?
under
What
homework.
does that mean he wants to play?
Yeah,
Is that like a specific-
Might mean the Jinx.
Yeah, no, Aphelios
Yeah,
or Jinx, yeah.
yeah.
Ah.
They're going to
And
ego leave
Aphelios-
open Nathan's Rek'Sai. Are we going to play Rek'Sai game 1?
They banned Oriana.
Yeah, Rex, I have to play Rek'Sai, surely.
Yeah, I'll play Rek'Sai.
Okay. Well, think about what draft we're doing with Rek'Sai then. Do you want to play an Ahri still, or do you want to play more of a carry?
There we go.
I don't
It's the
know.
Rek'Sai ban.
Lulu.
Lulu ban.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I recommend skipping.
I reckon that means they might want to play Ari. They ban Ori, which doesn't bother me. I've got Victor and Syndra anyway.
Yeah.
I could play Aurora.
I mean, if they don't pick Jinx here, could we not early pick Jinx and just take his Jinx?
No, it's not that important.
No, yeah.
I'd rather play Sivir or something.
Yumi.
Get in the
No
Uber.
way.
Okay,
Wow.
I think we should insta flex Camille.
I agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Let's come in Lockturn.
Yep.
Okay.
Definitely want Nocturne, yeah?
Yep, absolutely.
Yeah, think about it. Yumi offers no peel to a Nocturne dive. Or a-
Yeah, no peel,
or a
yeah.
Camille dive, yeah.
Useless.
All right, so we're
could
very
even put
one-dimensional already. We've already locked in a lot of dives, so let's
Now
just
we
make
have
sure
to fucking
complement it.
commit.
Yep.
Can I?
Yeah.
I think we should lock in. Actually, no, I've
Ari,
got a
maybe?
lot of dive mid. I've got a lot of options.
Yeah, we'll just
Mila.
flex the Camille until the last pick, and you can even look
Yeah.
for like a Vex if they early pick a mid.
I mean, I've got Aurora, Ari, and Vex in my pool here for this comp. So
I love Aurora and Ari.
Yeah, well, you have to blind Curtis, so
okay. Well, what do you out of those three? What do you like? I would prefer playing Ari here.
yeah. I mean, I think we should just lock Sybil's Sivir.
Yeah, let's just lock ADC for now.
Okay.
Yeah, I think it's just Sivir.
It's the best AD carry to secure, and then we'll just pick. any
Is
of
Camille
these
good
bids.
in... Wouldn't Camille be kind of shit into Nyla? I mean, does it matter if it's
Doesn't
bad early?
matter.
Okay.
If anything, it's pretty good because Nyla Yumi will not pressure at all while you're roaming around like a.
So do you want to ban tops?
Yeah.
Is there any tops we want to ban? Like they need frontline really bad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, he's a Volibear player. I don't know.
Why don't we just ban Volley then? I think.
Yeah,
Volley
I'm
is
happy to. I don't know how the fuck to lane against that thing, so I'm very happy to ban Volibear.
Yeah, let's get rid of
That's a
that.
good ban.
Just another target ban, nice and easy.
Yep. I mean, their
Yeah.
comp is like they just need frontline. I mean,
Yeah, well,
they've got no
they
frontline.
need go buttons more than anything, don't they? Yeah, it was relatively
Malphite good against us?
not really. No,
Malphite on.
can't really lane against Thingo.
They need peel disengage, right? So
Victor. Fascinating.
Interesting. Yeah, I mean that comp's just bad, isn't it?
What else does he play, Charles? You know what else he plays?
No, I couldn't look up his account because it was in Chinese characters. I mean, I have mental block against Kled, so just ban Kled. Honestly.
Yeah, let's do it. Let's do
Let's
it.
ban Kled. It's an engaged champion.
It's
It's good for their team, and I fucking hate the matchup. So
Oh fuck. I kind of like the Ari here.
Have to be afraid
It's
of
fine.
it's alright. Aurora's great.
Other options are Aurora. I think we just pick.
Well, you're blinding, so you should
Aurora.
just go.
Yeah,
It's
Aurora.
better
I just want
than
Aurora.
this, yeah.
Yeah.
Aurora?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. No Graves incidents.
I'm hitting.
I'm
Fuck me.
what?
Oh, yeah. I don't know what that is. Could be top.
Yeah, that is top Humdinger, Charles. Yes, Carnaby plays Humdinger, dude. Yes.
No, you're thinking of Jolaf, I think. Jolaf's the other Zac guy, or the other jungler that plays that. Blind Vein top. Heimerdinger
Well,
mid.
They do have 5 ranged
Heimerdinger mid?
champions,
They do.
basically.
Do you want the Camille into Vayne?
I would not like the Camille into Vein. I would like to.
Or Anivia?
I don't think Anivia
mean,
suits our
actually,
comp.
Anivia's
I
really
just,
dog
I just go, I just go Gragas, take the L,
Gragas,
and
yes.
we win the
Gragas
game.
is good. You can minimize with that.
Yeah.
There's got lots of engage tools.
Yeah, I
We're
just-
all in on engage.
I will just go down farm, but I'll be more useful. I'm not important.
Right, make sure everyone has right runes, please. Runes and summoner spells.
Very, very crucial.
And skins, equally crucial.
And are we all recording on OBS? Yeah.
Yep.
Yes.
Can I spell
Swing,
shield
machine,
while you're asleep?
You can, but it has to be very fast. Technically, it is a projectile. You're better off just spell shielding the ability.
So they've got strong lanes, but they've got weak fighting, weak team fighting and shit.
What summoner spell should I go here, Charlie?
Yeah, just ignite. Keep it simple. This is a matchup where you could consider ganking top level 1, by the way.
I mean, I'm happy to do that. If you think it's good.
I don't know. It depends if you want to. Like, it can really ruin Vayne's life if you run top
I'd rather-
and E her in the middle bush, because the
Yeah.
whole game plan is to win lane, right? So
I mean, I think we should walk to the get. I want to give you a ward level 1 regardless.
oh, it's Heimerdinger top.
Vayne mid. That can't be
Interesting.
good into Aurora. What the fuck?
Oh, you could come top still, Lucas, by the way, because he needs to place turrets. I think it's really OP.
Okay.
I think it's worth doing. Like, you're versing Yumi.
Yeah, I can chill.
Guy's exhaust, by the way. He has no flash top, Charles.
Yeah. He's really free. Pre 6, you can hunt.
He set up his little things.
Okay, you can base. Just base. Base. No, he has not got a good setup at all. He didn't do
Looks
it.
like Lily is starting bot side, I think.
here are different from the ones in the Freljord.
Yep, Lily started Raptors.
Be a bit late.
Yep.
I think Vayne did ward your.
Yeah, I've got it pinged.
Interruption is not ideal.
Missed 2 XP.
I've read about this.
I'm looking. Good trade.
Play third wave for sure.
Do you want to maybe play it slow, let it bounce? I might see if I can
Yeah.
look mid.
Sure. Sure.
Take it in.
Nice.
No flash. That's something we're really gonna punish.
I'm moving back bot. Just let it bounce.
Remember, Lilia's path in top.
Yep.
Bit chunked.
Obviously, he is going to slowly take the top tower, by the way.
Yep, it's fine.
Probably just gonna have to catch this safe.
Yeah. They might go for a bit of a cheater reset. I'm gonna cancel them here.
If you cancel them, I'll come and mess with them as well.
I just want to one-shot the next wave mainly.
And I can be here to assist that happening.
Mid's diveable.
Alright, you got the wave in. I missed the opportunity to dive mid.
Yep. Definitely recalling.
And the play's done. It's too late. We're too slow, Lucas.
I want to cover this gank top. Gank from
Yeah,
top.
Lily's on top grab.
Should be on your Raptors.
Do you want to go? Let's go for Raptors, Lucas.
Yeah, yeah.
Let's stay for the dive now.
No, Venge
No, she
base.
base. She base.
Got another
Nice.
flash.
Basing.
Don't know. They're coming from base.
Yeah, but
I think I'm just gonna stay now.
okay.
I like when it's quiet. I can hear myself think.
So Lily no flash, Vayne no flash.
On this slow build, I'm gonna base and run top after we crash.
Okay.
Okay, Roger. He's perma smashing every single wave, but I'm quite low.
Fuck me.
Wouldn't overcook Lucas. I think you should just stay bot. Let
Well,
Chelsea
yeah,
rise.
we need to try and crash this next wave. I don't think I need to ward. I just want to hard shove the next wave as quick as we can. Well, Q went very wide.
It's pretty bad what's happening up here, Nathan, I'll be honest. I wouldn't say no to the Camille.
All sums use bot.
Nice, Cody.
Well played, Curtis. I'm open.
Lilia
top
mid.
here.
This guy's trying to get this wave in. He's green.
Yeah. Yeah, they're pretty killable. She has, I
And no
think,
sums.
two dashes. Only through targets.
He's trying to base in
I
that
think I'm on
bush.
vision.
Nice.
I'm
Yeah,
gonna go for
drag.
his Raptors.
Okay,
Actually, I think
yeah.
drag's better. I'll go for drag.
I have no R, by the way. Mid no sums.
Did she have ult?
Yes.
Good play for a chunk here. On this minion.
Oh,
She's just giving.
need help. He's on Drake. Everyone come
Coming.
collapse.
Oh, she got it.
We win this.
No flash Lilia.
Leave me.
It's just, yeah, leave.
I thought Lilia was top side. My mistake.
Yeah, probably gonna fight me on the push out.
Yeah, I'm coming. She's E. We could go for a bit of a short.
Yeah, okay.
I'm gonna get level 6. I'm sprinting bot, by the way. We're just gonna kill bot. No sums.
Okay.
Nala will warn you guys, right?
Yeah, she wants to.
She used W. I'm gonna go see if there's a fruit.
Yeah, I think she's gonna all in on this wave here.
Yeah, I'm coming for this wave.
And I don't have
She
some.
should still have no W.
I'm very killable. That's probably it. Nice.
I'm basing here, Insta.
Very predictable.
Okay.
Close one, Charles.
He ulti exhausted.
No flash mid.
Again?
Yeah, he flashed again.
Oh, okay. Cool. I'm
I
coming.
need to hit my camp skirt or something.
Yeah,
Through
that's
bar
fine.
blind.
I'll play mid. You, I can just hold on.
Wave's not in a very killable position.
He's on grubs.
Get you some vision.
Nice.
I need help. Oh no, I'm good.
They can't dive you, right, Lucky? There's no way they can dive you.
No. They can't dive.
You have barrier.
Yeah.
By the way, Curtis is 50 farm up, guys. Like, let's just play later on Curtis. I will just kill Vayne. Wait, when's Vayne's flash?
Not for a while. I can get 6 and we can actually look him at his 3 potentially.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm gonna base after this wave.
They're gonna break top tower in like 2 minutes.
Yep.
What do you want to do here,
We'll
Loki?
break mid tower first. Let's just break mid tower first.
Just get.
I
Wave.
kind of
sorry,
want to.
Loki,
I
I
kind
kinda
of want to
see
play
it playing
bot. I
Yeah.
kind of want to just kill bot.
Yeah.
Okay, we
Let's
can do
just
that.
give top tower.
I'll
Yeah,
leech
doesn't
for level
matter.
6 then.
On your next R, Nathan. Let's just kill bot.
Okay.
I'll have R as well.
Yeah, it's probably more valuable.
They'll have
than
minor
bot.
sums, but
I
no
like
flash
it.
on Camille. Or no flash on Nyla at that point.
I'm literally gonna have ult in 15 seconds. I'm gonna recall. I'm gonna sprint down bot lane.
I need to
Actually,
base then.
Yeah, we can just chill.
Alright, I got my experimental hexblade,
Excellent.
and I'm sprinting bot. I'm spiked.
Yep, I'm running. I'm gonna shove and move bot as well.
I'm 1 minion from 6 here. Ian 4.
Let's get level 6 first on the Camille.
Yep, I'm 6.
Ready
I'm
whenever.
spotted.
She exhausted me.
Coming. I'm leaving you.
So a good counterplay by Camille, I guess.
Yep.
Lily of Flash.
Lilia.
I don't.
Alright, top tower's gone.
Drag's up 45.
Yep,
I want to contest this next one.
for sure.
Careful, Lilia.
Ryan's basing. Hibernating and missing from top. Probably basing.
No flash.
Nice. My ult will be
Do you want help
Drag's
with
on
this?
20. Yeah, sure.
Lilia has no ult, but I also have no ult, so
I'm gonna try and get some deep vision in here.
Curtis also has no ult. How weak?
I'm gonna base TP. I can fight.
We
I'm
can
really
4v4,
strong.
right? I'm pretty sure we can 4v4.
Yeah, for sure. I'm really strong.
As long as Hammer doesn't come down here.
Need to
Heimer's
step
top.
up my vision
Heimer
game.
teleport at top. He has no TP. No TP.
I'm just gonna flat out start it then.
No TP.
I'm gonna drag it out towards
I also have no TP. I also have no
Nice.
TP.
What the fuck?
She didn't respect my stealth.
Did she just lose HP dragging the wave or something?
Yeah.
Do you one shot off an E, Curtis? I'm looking.
I'm looking as well.
Nice.
If you want, let's get this tower, Curtis. We have
Yeah.
the opportunity to get it, so let's get it quick.
Lily at
And
top.
then come help me. Let's go top, Curtis, after this straight away, okay?
I'm opening directly to top.
Yeah, we need to-
Lily is on your raptors.
on my camps.
Lily is going to go for your raptors. She's already
I
got the
know.
goals.
I want to fight this.
No, she's out. She's done. She's already got them.
She's a
she's gone for
sneaky little
Krugs.
bugger. Let's wait for
mean,
Curtis
it's
a little bit. We need to wait for Curtis a little bit.
I'm just fairly shoved.
We're on vision.
crack.
Yeah, I'm going. Fucking kill him.
No flash. Good job.
I'm gonna reset.
I'm basing here.
I got a lot of gold.
We need help Lucky.
I can
Yeah,
teleport
cut
on that. If they full send, I will TP,
Okay.
but only if I see Nyla dash forward. I'm sending.
Oh, fuck. Thought I had barrier, sorry.
It's okay.
I'm moving mid here.
Those
Get
camps
some
look
vision.
really juicy.
Yeah,
I'm not staying here, Nathan. I'm basing. Actually, no. I will push one more camp.
She's healthy-ish.
I'll just stay. It's fine. You can catch something else.
Yeah, that's
I'm
fine.
gonna come in this direction if you just wanna.
I stopped Nyla's recall.
Nice. Bro, how
Alright.
OP is deep ward, by the way?
Can we fix lanes, Curtis? Can Civet take over mid now?
Yep. Yeah, I'll go top.
Okay. I'm basing.
Holds up.
I'm
in
just gonna.
30.
I'm actually gonna base here.
It's warded.
All right, both top laners have no TP.
I want to make a play on this top tower in a bit, Curtis.
I'm hitting
Are you happy with this
camps.
assignment, Curtis, or do you want to flip it eventually?
I don't mind either way. It's more on you.
I mean, I get pushed in by both means nothing to me.
Okay, I think then we should swap it. I should go for Vayne eventually. We don't have to do it right now though.
Sure.
So when it's convenient.
They get prior mid.
I might just shove and reset, to be honest.
Yeah.
I want to
I'm
break
gonna
the
push-
tower.
I'll do the same.
Wait, so Dukas, you want to
Actually,
shove
no.
and-
Let's fight Rift. Let's fight Rift on
Okay,
spawn.
I have ults.
Okay.
Let's
can
push
take
another
the
mid
lead.
wave. I'm gonna
It's really
recall
hard for him to get vision.
Recall first.
Yeah,
I
it's
get
fine.
level 11 off Krugs. I want Krugs first. I need experience.
Okay.
The blue there if you want it, Charlie.
Yeah, I'll grab it.
Nice. Good over. Rift is up in 30. I want it.
I'm gonna get some deep vision, and then we can even look to dive here potentially.
No, I'm walking to Rift. I'm walking to Rift from bot.
Lilia was just mid. Oh, they're moving. I'm getting pushed mid.
I need level 11 first, Lucas, please.
Yeah, I'm chilling.
I have no TP. Actually, I'm not gonna move. I'm just gonna stay bot and cover the tower.
Hovering now.
Oh, that's a big chunk. Can we just dive this?
Yep. Lilia's not here.
can.
We have a
You're
short
moving.
window.
Lilia's on her, she's on her way. I'm not gonna be there.
I'm a TP.
Get mid, yeah. It's fine.
Oh, so close. Got exhausted.
My bad.
Drag's up in a minute. We can play for that.
Yep.
Play for Drake. Lucky's getting a lot of farm mid, which is looking juicy.
Jaime, TP top. Jaime has no TP.
I'm gonna go set up bot side control.
I'm really strong. Got my second item.
I'm gonna abuse this timer while Lily is on her top camps to get some bot control.
Guys, Vayne
Yeah,
has a
I'm
fucking pickup.
sprinting,
Like,
Lucas. I'm
I don't-
sprinting with Raptors.
Okay.
I don't. Let's make sure we get Drake though. Let's not
Yep.
waste cooldowns. 30 seconds before dragon.
No.
Bot is also diveable at any time.
Get ready to fight. We're getting ready to fight, me and Lucas. Don't.
Lilia
no,
might be
we
here.
can't. It's a red light. Yeah. Look at Vayne. Let's just camp here a little bit. Vayne's low.
She's gonna base. Vayne's gonna base. We
can
can rush
lean.
dragon. We can rush Drake. Vayne's basing.
Okay. Mid.
I'm tipping
have
on mid
Curtis.
now. I'm tipping on mid now. Wait me.
I have to yell.
Let's
Drag it out
Gonna
a
fight
bit.
this.
Yep, they're rotating through.
Lilia's slow finish. Play for the finish.
Nyla's the
Fucking
the
kill
big
them. We
threat.
can kill them.
Look at Nyla. IE flash. Lilia. Nyla no flash. Nyla no flash.
Vayne flashed in. Lane. Vayne no flash. Vayne no flash.
I got E in 2 seconds.
No F.
Oh shit, we got
Oh,
outplayed.
nice. Well played,
bomba.
guys.
Alright, you stay bot.
Yeah, I'll shove it out.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
open directly to top and get some control in here.
Do you have a smite, Nathan? Good stuff.
Yeah,
Fucking A.
I actually outsmarted someone.
You're on point today. Holy moly.
What are we doing about this rift? Any ideas? I think you don't really care, right?
I'd rather just play top tower.
I'm just gonna reset. I'm gonna hover through lane top with Curtis, and I have an ult.
I want to break this top
I'm playing
tower.
the tower. Yeah, I agree.
I think
Keep in mind,
I'm getting strong now. I can fight Herald.
Because I have teleport advantage against Heimerdinger. He does not
Yeah.
have TP and I do. Let me run bot and you guys can do whatever you want topside. I will always be there.
Do you want to look on this guy?
Don't have ult yet.
No, I want top
No,
tower.
wait,
Okay.
wait
Yeah,
cooldowns,
play
wait
through top.
cooldowns.
I'm skipping all my camps to dive top. These are my raptors again. This annoying little bugger. I'm here to back up this play. They're all rotating top.
Yeah, they're coming and I
Three
can't
here.
follow. You have to just run.
Leave me, leave me.
We could just kill them if they walk in.
I have teleport. I have teleport.
Someone will walk up to this. They'll walk up to this next wave. Let's kill them. Kill on this next wave. Lily will be on Herald or some shit.
Yeah, I'll walk up.
Start walking. I don't think you can get caught, Lockie, but maybe.
They're on it. Yeah, Lily's on Herald.
You can collapse on Lilia then.
Yeah, focus Lilia.
I'm cancelling his TP. I cancelled it.
On Herald, Herald.
Like the Heralds, more wins.
Nice. I have ult still. I'm looking with you, Curtis.
Yeah, I'm ulting.
Ian 2. Okay, that's it. That's it.
Pushing top. Someone pushed up. Good speed,
I'm basing.
Curtis.
I'm basing.
Can I get help on this mid wave?
Yeah.
I'm not helping.
I want to get this push.
Because I'm
I'm
gonna pop a
leaving.
Herald here. Let's get some plates.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
make this tower.
Oh,
Lily's
sure.
dead for ages. Just leave.
I can
You
live.
know,
Well played.
Fuck, it's not that good at all.
focus the tower.
They might collapse on you from here.
I think we're fine.
We can look on this guy.
Yo, this is the scariest looking thing I've ever seen in my life.
I have no ult here. He has exhaust and ult. It's a bit scary.
Might have
I didn't ult his E.
I take it all, dude. I'm popping anyway. I've ult up in 10.
No exhaust.
I'm just that's just the one thing he does.
I need to
right?
wait for 3 seconds to kill this guy.
Neil,
I mean, it
no
works.
ult.
If,
I should go.
Like,
and
yeah,
kneel
yeah.
it.
It's okay. It's okay.
holy
Holy
shit.
moly.
He's still here, Nathan.
No exhaust. If I just ulted his E, I...
Good try.
Can we look Baron?
We
Nah.
have a slow Baron, don't we? We need to relax. Charles is gonna start popping off soon.
Yeah, just play Drake, I guess. I actually,
You wanna go in there, Lucas?
yeah.
Where did
I don't have
where
ult
did that
though.
come? What does that come? I'm gonna pop off.
Yeah. I mean,
Let me. Do you
Charles
want me
is
to go
like-
top? Or
Yeah, sure.
I'd rather you
yeah,
do
yeah.
the fight. I think.
Yep.
Charles has been getting bashed this whole game, and he's only down 30 farmers and level up. Like,
Holy
Charles is the
moly.
best offlaner in the game.
How does
Best
he do
weak
it?
side. Weak side
How
king.
does he do it?
I'm actually just deploying mid. No one's showing on top here. Let's get frisky on this midway.
Yep. Looking on mid.
My ult's up in a little bit.
This Lilia.
Collapsing
she's a bit
on
of a red
Lilia?
light. We're killing Lilia.
I'm
now.
looking. On Nyla.
In two. I'm gonna E flash.
Ian 1.
Nice.
Nathan predicted my
Baron.
pop off. No exhaust.
Yeah, I think we can Baron.
It's up to you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
That's
fuck it.
Baron.
I'm just gonna take mid tower. You guys don't need me.
Is there a fruit somewhere?
Oh, actually,
Might need you.
I think.
Yeah.
I
Yeah, no,
don't think this is good.
I'm just doing one auto.
Let's just
check.
base.
Really?
I guess.
Let's do it.
Just commit. Heimerdinger no TP.
Can do it.
Heimerdinger no TP. It's fine.
Okay, I'm
Sorry
gonna
for being
fuck.
greedy for the mid tower.
I'm just gonna base then.
Drag.
Big.
Let's reset. Go straight to drag.
Yeah.
Ben might solo. I can TP there.
No, I don't think she can solo.
Don't get greedy with that base. They're gonna try and contest, I think.
Yeah, for sure.
I might just TP
High
on
volts.
bot wave immediately.
Okay.
I don't have TP. I don't have ults for 50. We have no ults.
I do.
Be
Pushing
happy to
mid-wave.
happy to give it, but just let them start it. Play really slow. Just let them start the Drake.
Yeah, just don't engage too deep. Just let me push bot waves. Let me make someone react.
Yeah, wait, Lucas.
I need to run.
She's.
We're fighting.
Play slow if possible.
I'm rotating. Holy moly. Bit of fucking damage on you blokes. Watch out for the Heimerdinger.
Holy moly.
And do we end through mid?
We can't
I've got Viv spectating.
end.
I don't.
I'm
You
gonna
don't
go
have
bot,
end. You don't
going
have
bot.
end.
Gonna give up.
Let's get an inhibitor. That is the most damage I've probably ever seen from a champion, Curtis. Like, what was that?
I thought Roy does
That-
Lily has
that's a
HP.
better. Yeah. That's what happens when you build Shadow Flame and Storm Surge and they have no MR.
That's awesome.
That Lily had lost like 3,000 something health in half
Yeah.
a second.
Yeah, it's disgusting.
We've wiped Lilia's entire between us. She's not pleased with this sequence.
No, I don't think so.
We do still have Baron.
Yeah.
That's his base. Ah, this base.
Let's not overcomplicate it. Let me go bot. Do you want to just play two lanes, just mid bot?
They have no engage. We can 1-3-1.
I'm level 16, and then I'm gonna recall, and I'm sprinting to kill someone.
Do you wanna look on this guy?
He's respecting. I'm on wave. I can't be there.
Building Guardian Angel next.
It's hard.
Coming in hot bot, Charles.
Yeah.
Oh, you're
I
fucking
cancel the
joking.
base. Playing slow.
I'm waiting. I'm a little bit out of range still.
You can shove
Solo
mid,
bolo.
Sibi.
Yeah.
I could dive. Dive top. I'll dive if they
Me and
show.
Charles are getting bot tower and Hibs, so you guys are 2v
Yep.
something.
Sorry. Shield here.
I'm gonna help you guys mid probably.
How are we problem solving
No
this Neela
exhaust.
situation?
Nice.
Can someone get a base?
No, don't need it. We have Baron.
Yeah.
Make them react.
Exactly right. Push with Baron.
Good.
2 inhibs, please.
To make them react mindset.
Inhibitor. Need auto attacks. We do no damage to things, and then we play. We close out the game properly, right?
Yeah, we
Play top.
base fast.
I want these respawning
Re-establish
camps.
control.
But I guess I'll just recall.
Raptors in 20.
I'm gonna give red buff to Lockie.
Yes, sir.
Sibinator.
No, I don't want to look. I don't have W.
I don't want to
Just
look
play
at
slow.
it. I need to give red to Lockie.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty OP, yeah.
Wait for Nocturne.
Yep, we're probably gonna play on this next wave out of base. This one here.
Should
I have
get
ult in
this mid
7.
wave? I'll go top.
You can get one mid wave. That's fine.
I'm Arin.
Okay, I'm TPing. Fuck it. Let's just send it. Just send it.
The game, please.
I have Ian 3.
Nice.
Nice,
It's
guys.
gonna end.
GG.
GG.
Shit, what is he? 20 and 1.
This is 20 and 1.
Viv, I'm try harding here.
All right. Kill Vayne.
Back to hitting towers.
Easy.
GG.
All right, quick dub. GG.
We kill Neela. But, so we're basically making 2 plays on 2 sides of the map.
Yeah, and then you need to fix this wave and the next wave, right? Yeah. so
Yeah,
there's
I
no way you're
I
doing
should
this,
actually just push this and the next one, but instead I'm like doing weird things like freezing and thinking of basing.
Hmm.
So
Can we also look at the play after this? You know when like we got counter ganked by Lilia? I think it was my bad. I didn't calm. I was slow. I should have let you guys know.
Wait, but just on this point first, before we move on to the next one, what was the problem here, Nathan? Did you just mistrack Lilia? Did you think she was top, or was it a gamble?
I thought she was top. Yeah.
Okay.
Well, look, I mean...
Isn't it just a bad play in the first place? Isn't it a bad play anyway?
It drops up thing. I
shouldn't
don't
just-
know. I feel like it's a free Drake. Like Curtis, maybe Curtis should just whack it a little bit. I was very close.
Yeah, I
to
can
getting
help
it, by
you.
the way.
I can help you, but I just assumed that you didn't need help.
Yeah, I was like 1500. I think we don't overcomplicate.
I feel like it's one of those Drakes though that like if it disrupts everybody's game so much, it's not that great.
Yeah.
I don't know. That's just my approach. Maybe that's a solo queue
It is a good
perspective.
principle, though.
Because
It is a good
Siva wants to base. Curtis has
no,
no
I should
ulti.
just hard push. If I hard push and then, well, yeah, I definitely can't contribute to be honest.
No,
No.
you're too.
But I
Like
could have
you want
pushed, and then Neela would actually lose something for this.
I think Curtis just needs to smack it with some abilities, and then we're
Alright.
fine.
So what was the sign for you to let me know that that I needed to be there.
Honestly, I would make this mistake every time. I think Lily's just topside. I mean, by the time she's like she's literally on her Raptors on spawn. Like I was so close. Literally, Dragon's not a 1500 HP.
Oh, okay, fair enough.
Can you go back and see how I deployed? This is
Yeah,
the deployment top. Was this correct?
I'm sure Lucas should not be. Like, if you're top, you need to be getting something, but you're not getting anything. So it's not worth. So as soon as Nathan starts that dragon, you have to leave.
Yeah.
I should just never be top.
To be honest with
I
you
don't
guys,
think roaming
like,
top's even correct.
no one should come top the whole game. Like I'm whining a little bit, but
Yeah, I know. That's right. That's what I said.
Yeah,
Like,
I think if
just
Lucas
play
is
top.
on the dragon, it probably doesn't feel too bad.
no, we just do exactly what we did, where the Heimerdinger
We're
goes like
making
50
a million
CS.
plays at once. We're making like
Yes.
a million plays. Like we're playing top, we're playing for the bot wave, and we're playing for dragon. It's 3
So,
plays at once.
Can you go to the other bot, the bot triple kill or whatever, the one we got counter ganked? So
It was.
yeah, so okay, so I fucked up. So I walk over a ward, and I should have just ignored it, but I was hitting it and I didn't communicate it.
To be honest, Curtis, I think the fact that you walk over a ward and she doesn't change her behavior kind of means we probably shouldn't go for this, or at least change how we're going to play this. And wait
I think what we take away from, at least for me, what I take away from this is I need to communicate way clearer here. I don't know, for some reason I just thought that you guys were just going to dominate this, and I didn't really need to be there. That was my mindset.
The thing is, we really lack damage into Nyla. Like if you think about our
she
champions,
blocks so much.
No, okay,
It's
yeah.
the block.
So-
If this is any other AD carry, they're dead.
So the way you fight
Yes.
that champion, right, is you need to do it in two parts. You go in.
Oh, like I engage.
You
and
make
then-
her blow her little blocky thing. You all click backwards. Sybil will click backwards here and not get sucked into the Oriana ball thingy. And then when her thingy runs out, then you all go forward and hit. You can't sit there hitting her while she's got a block on.
I just don't think it. But I think though it's like not a fundamentally good play 3v3
No.
unless
Lucas.
we wait for Curtis.
Trust me that this is a champ specific learning here. If this is any
Yeah.
other champion,
If that's
that
a
is- that is-
jinx, they just
yeah,
die.
they
Yeah,
just
yeah.
die. It's a
Fair
Nyla.
enough.
You guys just don't know how to play against
Oh,
Nyla.
So
Yeah, because it is
that
our
makes
only
sense.
window to go. We shouldn't really wait any longer.
So
Even
the
though
other
it's late.
thing I wanted to say, like advice, not to tire you out, Lucas, but like I do think that you're not. I want you to contemplate your follow up more in the next games. I don't mind looking for plays, but there was a few plays in this game from my perspective that like I can't follow up, or people can't follow up.
Which
So,
specifically?
I can look.
I
at
know.
it from
I know
my-
one. It was on this mid wave. I think it was pretty late. Here.
Yeah, that was one. Yeah,
I
that
think
was
this is
one.
fine. I just don't have enough champ mastery on Camille, and I didn't think about the like. I just thought I'd kill her here. To be honest, it was very.
But
close.
if you're gonna die to Lilia anyway, though, right?
I thought it was going to be a lot faster, and I think with the exhaust here, I actually just kill him before Lily even comes in.
Don't you think that this is just one of those plays where it's like Nathan is making this really set play bot where he's going to ulti kill Vayne, and it's better for us if you're full
bit
HP and
unnecessary.
Timer's full HP. Like you're actually
It's the
just
macro, right?
you're injecting
micro
chaos
macro.
into the game.
I agree.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just like
I-
not that side of the map. It's just bad.
It's so much better if you stay full HP, wait for
Yeah.
Siva to get on the map.
I
and
agree.
We can just kill them all later.
Just make a play together. I
That's
agree.
just so just in terms of behavior change to the next game, if you could just be like slightly more aware of the map state, similar to your SoloQ learning objective.
Mhm.
Just slow it down just a smidgen.
Yeah.
A smidgen.
I don't think there was that much else in this game, was there? It was
No.
relatively straightforward.
Yeah, this dragon fight we're watching here, I think
I think I just played said turn, right? I just said fucking kill them.
Yeah, which I like that call.
Yeah, it was fantastic. I think it works great. And we just all have to execute the fight to the best of our abilities, and we should win because we're up a lot of gold. And we beat them to the punch mindset. Look at this Vayne.
Fighting.
I hold my E for so
Yeah.
long here. Look at me hold my E for an hour and a half, and then
Because
we
if
keep-
we're gonna play,
Oh,
so if we're gonna play this comp, like I want a lot of people to have that, not just me to have that mindset. I want you all to have that mindset. Like in those scenarios, remember that's how that comp does. It just hits the go button, and like
just
I want.
launches.
If we're gonna be versing a better opponent, I would like to hear like comms from you guys in that scenario. Like go back to that scenario, Sybil, on that dragon.
Yeah, what was
Like I want people to say like I'm looking for things, and then like because I want to know where you guys are directing your attention here. Like
Well, yeah, you can see by my body language, I'm like the guardian. If they walk past a certain point, I will fucking engage. But yeah, I need to open my mouth.
Because like we saw Lily on Raptors, like
Yeah.
people should be saying like look on bot. Like
Yep.
I mean,
Yeah,
Well,
I want
Mike,
ping-
I had a very clear call here saying finish drag because Lily is late.
Right.
So I actually was not on the same page as you guys at all. Here, to be honest.
No, we
No,
have to
that's-
turn
that's
now.
good.
I
The
would have
call was
lost.
to
I
finish.
could have lost the game there.
Yeah. The call
we
was
have to
actually
turn though.
rush
We
drag.
have to turn. It's
be honest,
Yeah, but
I-
I didn't think to turn. I think to finish.
I should.
It's
turn
good to
even
turn
earlier,
because
honestly.
we know Lily is split, so we
Yeah,
can
we're gonna
like
get pinned.
5v4.
It's one of those weird things where it's like, from Nathan's perspective, he should just finish. He should just stay on this. But we can turn.
Yeah, you can hit it a
No,
few more
I-
times and
I
smite
think
it.
I need to turn as well. But the
I
answer-
think
would say
everybody
I was
does.
Nocturne personally.
but who do I go on? I think I need to go on Lily. I don't
Kill
know.
the, I think he's killed the Nyla, right?
I can't kill Nala. She blocks everything.
No, but you're set up for everyone else. You just dive in, like right now, like we just go in. No,
I probably should, right? Yeah.
Or the Heimer even.
I'm just slow.
Any of them.
Imagine in that frame where Sybil just paused it, I was e-flashing faster. Like now. Imagine if I
don't think
e-flash
E-flash
right now.
is actually correct, though.
Yeah, then I should pull the trigger.
Why is e-flash not correct?
I don't think you should use it that early in the fight, to be honest, if there are other engaged tools.
Right. Well, what I end up doing is I wait for her to flash and then I e-flash.
Yeah, I think this is way better.
Regardless, a lot of different micro things to be done there, but overall, I think behavior change wise, it's like next time we're doing an objective, let's all be very clear on turn or finish. And
yeah. If we're gonna play this comp, we have to have
be
that
very loud
mindset.
about it. Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. I reckon we don't overcomplicate the game. We just leave it there.
Alrighty, so that about wraps it up for the ultimate guide to Clash. We've talked comms, we've talked drafting, you've seen us draft and play.
We've played some games. We love Clash.
Yep, so good luck in your own Clash if you're using this as a bit of a resource. Would love to hear how everyone goes, and thanks for watching, and we'll see you guys on the next episode.